Everybody, this is the Modern Geek, also known as Vamp Mario, and we are back Thursday night. We were gonna do an RPG session, but I said the heck and phooey with that. We're gonna do another talk show. So this is our, because we got to get it in now, because it's already the 24th of the month, and we didn't do a talk show this month. So it's our monthly State of Geek, if you will, and going through and talking about all of the new geeky, crazy things that have been announced. There's a lot on the horizon between botched game console releases to what's new in tabletop, what we may see possibly at the end of this year to watch, or 5 years from now when, hopefully the coronavirus hasn't mutated into some sort of life form that will kill both us and whatever aliens might make first contact with us, because I'm rooting for Vulcans to be actually real and for us to actually make contact with them at some point.
Philosophically, it does stand to reason that if there are extraterrestrial life that has achieved faster and light travel and has attempted to reach out to other civilizations, as most people would want them to, it stands to reason that they probably should have figured out we're here, and they're just leaving us alone because we're too messed up.
Well, yeah, it just takes like a year of just observing what we do to ourselves. They're not...
they could just watch, MTV and accidentally watch, The Challenge, and then be like, nope, not advanced enough.
That's true. But if they would watch something like Kitchen Nightmares, maybe they might think we have a chance. I don't know.
No, that's even... It's like, oh god, they pay credits for food that has been touching the germ? What is with the food that touches the germ that inspires them to spend credit?
Why are all the...
by what you're talking about.
Why are the aliens all Danish? I don't understand.
That's because I was trying to come up with alien speak on the fly.
That basically they were one step away from the Swedish Chef. That's what aliens will be. The aliens and intelligent life forms out there will be the Swedish Chef. But yeah, I'm hoping that we get some entertainment at some point. I mean, obviously this is entertainment, so I have a market. So please watch this. But the idea is that I would love for more polished, geeky culture to come back. I feel like soon we're just going to all make fan fiction in our driveways with social distancing.
I talked about this a few months ago, actually, with you guys on the show.
We did talk about
eventually we're going to run out of crap.
That's true. Yeah, I feel like I'm getting close to have watched the whole internet. I think it's happening.
Yes. The entirety of it. Even the bad parts.
Well, no.
John, why are you watching the bad parts?
I'm not watching all the bad parts. Not the stuff.
Only some of them.
Not the stuff with the animals. That's not right.
Hey, you read about the animals though.
That's not true at all. That's stop. Don't make children hurt. I don't know. Anyway, so we normally start these off. We totally have gotten to a tangent already. We totally start these off with a icebreaker question. And even though I sprung this show on everyone this week and didn't actually prepare anyone for anything, that's why we went a little late tonight, guys. Sorry. Both me coming back from work a little on the late side and us preparing for, a whopping 15 minutes. We put a lot of time into these shows.
Oh, yeah. This is what I dedicate my entire life to.
Yeah,
I have nothing else to live for.
Oh, wow. Okay. It's a little intense there. All right. By the way, I should have introduced the folks that you hear. Zach and Sean, of course, are always my trusted entertainment co-hosts, I'll call it, for the show, and are subjected to my DMing and adventures for gaming, but are always here. We did a live show last week where we all were in one room wearing masks, and most of us were wearing gloves. Sean apparently had bigger gloves for his...
he did have big gloves.
For his big hands, and
we actually have about the same hand size.
And pushed pushed the hand air at me, which we're now convinced might have given me a cold. But yeah, so
perfectly logical.
It makes total sense. We are going to try to do more in-person shows. We did one as a test, and obviously we're being. I want to just preface, if you do watch that video, we are trying to be as safe as possible. You know, we do try to stay socially distanced from each other. I will say that we did not do 6 feet, but we were masked. We had ventilation in the room. Obviously disinfected and did all that stuff. But anyway, we do have an icebreaker question that Zach is going to bring to us, as he does, our gallant question and trivia master. And what is our question for this week, Zach?
Hello, Internet.
That's not a question.
The question this week is, what author has disappointed you the most? Can you all...
Oh.
Can you all what? Did we just lose Zach?
It's possible. He was doing a lot of mic tests before we did this. Papa, can you hear me? That's what I'm gonna... Oh.
Hello.
Oh my God, what is happening? All right.
Don't know why my computer decided to just freak out for a second.
I guess it was just so blown away by your question.
Yeah, did you hear anything, though?
You started saying, can you all, and then you just kind of like dropped out, or can you something.
We heard the question, but we didn't hear the sentence after the question.
It was, can you hear me? Because I couldn't hear anybody else.
Oh. Okay.
Anyway, yeah, so the question is, what author has disappointed you the most? This could be because you had high hopes for a book that was coming out that you knew of. It was a reliable author that you liked, and it just didn't work for that particular book. Or the cover art just seemed really cool. And then, well, you might not burn the book, but you're definitely giving it away to that kid that you may not really care about.
Alright. Who wants to start? I'm eating, I'm sorry.
So I guess that's no for John starting.
Sure, I'll start. I proposed a question, I might as well. So, one of the formative books of all sci-fi, we can all agree, is Dune.
Mm-hmm.
Dune is awesome. The sequels to Dune are pretty awesome.
Yes.
Some of the later sequels of Dune get fairly full of themselves, are pretty awesome, though. Then Frank Herbert decided to stop writing Dune. Mostly because he died.
Wait.
However...
How dare he decide to do that?
Wait.
I know.
Are you disappointed the man didn't live longer? Is that
yes.
Wait, that's not...
Because... Hold on, let me finish.
He went a different way with this question.
Because that gave license to his son, Brian Herbert.
Oh, okay.
To take his father's universe and the intricate crafting and wordplay and wordsmithing that his father was renowned for.
Uh-oh.
And just completely ineptly shit on it.
Tell us how you really feel, Zach.
He is a god-awful writer who is just profiteering off his father's work, and he's just following his dad's notes and trying to extrapolate on them, but he's not smart enough or a good enough writer.
Or pretty enough.
I don't know what it is.
Or pretty enough.
You know what? I haven't seen Brian in person, so maybe he's not pretty enough. I don't know. But something is wrong in this universe of Dune and outside of the main 7 books, and it is with Brian. Brian, please stop writing. You disappoint everyone, and I'm pretty sure your father would say the same thing.
Wow.
Damn.
He's... Okay. So...
They're just that god-awful. That's the reaction I have to these books.
So, note to self, don't let Zach start questions. because he just went real dark and real. He just pumped the hate brakes on at none. There was no brakes. Just bang. Right? The man just said your father. He would get up in his grave and tell his son, just stop. That's wow.
Yep.
Holy.
Hey, you know what? Brian deserves it.
Oh my god.
He's making money off his father's intellectual work.
Damn.
And he's just not capable of living up to it.
You know,
and rather than recognizing that, he just keeps trying to make money off of it.
Now, funny enough, there is another literary example of this, which is the opposite, which is Tolkien, because Tolkien had the same thing.
I wouldn't necessarily say it's complete opposite. Like, definitely not a dumpster fire, apparently, is what Zach's describing.
Correct. It's better than that. I mean,
Christopher Tolkien just kind of was like, all right, here's my dad's notes. Tried to put them into some kind of narrative.
Right.
Have fun.
Right.
Like,
but it's kind of the same idea, because he did take his father's material and put it into something that was like, you know, not. I don't think it's as worthy as the original.
Oh no! I mean, don't get me wrong. I've read the Silmarillion and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's absolutely terrible.
Right.
J.R. should come out of the grave and tell Christopher he's disappointed in him. Like,
yeah, I don't know if I would go that level. Holy shit! And for all fairness, he does preface it as it really is a history book rather than a narrative.
Oh
story.
yeah, no. What's the old saying about the Lord of the Rings books? The Hobbit is a child story. The Lord of the Rings is a history book, and the Silmarillion is an anthropological text.
Yeah, that's good. That actually is somewhat.
I'd call the Silmarillion almost like a Bible.
Yeah, it is more like a Bible.
It reads like Greek mythology.
Yeah.
You know, just a lot less animals in the form of gods in the form of animals raping people.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the raping part. Sure.
Yeah.
Sauron does take the form of wolves and bats.
So if you were coming here for just good old fashioned talking, we've already talked about some rape, some everything. We're just going good.
You know, come on, that's like half of Greek mythology. Zeus gets horny, sees and is like, for some reason I can't approach this chick that I like as myself. I know, I'll become a swan and rape her.
Well, that's oh my god. Well, that's because the Greeks were crazy. They were justifying what they were actually doing in the writing of their mythology.
Watching swans rape people?
No, raping animals is what they were doing.
Fine, you know what? You're up next then. You dared speak.
But it's true. They were doing some wacky shit. Like
they were.
They had like sex houses. Like it wasn't even just like prostitution. It wasn't just like it was like more elaborate. There was a lot more going on. Like, all right. So.
Oh yeah, no. They also had like the sacred virgins and all that shit.
Yeah. So.
No, they were definitely a really horned up people that were high off their ass most of the time.
Correct.
Mainly because water would kill you.
Correct. So.
But their myths are fucking hilarious and rapey.
That's true. Norse mythology also is pretty good on that. But yeah. Anyway, now that we've alienated a lot of cultures, that's great. And really give
if your culture can't laugh, doesn't deserve to be a culture.
Jeez,
wow, what is happening? Bro, just settle down a little bit. We haven't even gotten to your segment where you get to rants. This is pre that segment. I was giving you one where you can just go loose, take no prisoners. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Whoa. No. This is why we love Zach. This is exactly why. Because Zach, you can literally say paperclip to Zach, and he will tell you how he fucking hates it.
Oh yeah, because of the Nazis.
There we go. Sure, okay. There we go. That's it.
Operation Paperclip.
What?
Operation Paperclip, where basically the U.S. military said, those Russians over there are looking mighty advanced in their rocket technology. I know. All these Germans who did horrifying experiments, And all of these Japanese people involved in, I believe it's Unit 478,
Yeah,
421.
that is. You were right in the first number.
Yeah, 478.
Yeah.
Cool. You guys can come to America. We'll pay for your houses. We'll give you salary.
Yeah.
And no war crimes ever. Just keep doing the science.
Yep.
So fuck paperclips.
So yeah, he really does have something to complain about, or about everything.
All right, that's awesome. Didn't even think that was going to set up well. Thanks for making that work out. All right, so Sean, and I apologize if we just talked through what was a depressing, disappointing book for you, because I think I might have done that. But what, Sean, give us your answer. What's your answer to this icebreaker question?
For most disappointing author, I mean, lately, like the one that's probably been on my mind the most for what will be obvious reasons is J.K. Rowling.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that bitch.
Because I mean,
she's a turf.
Bring her up every single time, but yeah, basically, I mean, like all the transgender, anti-transgender, or you know.
Let's
And
just.
she's a trans exclusionary
just-
radical feminist.
Yeah,
Sure.
no, I understand your turf. Like that's all disappointing. But even before that, she was just pissing me off. All the part of more shit. Just like, okay, great, you had a cool idea for the book, but she never thinks about how like that interacts with everything else she's already written about her
Right.
world. It's just
Right.
everything falls apart when you actually.
Oh, are
think
you talking about the wizard shitting?
No, not the wizard shitting. Like other things that are actually like in the book.
No.
That, like, don't even interact well with each other.
Correct.
Like,
Well, the Pottermore stuff. He's right.
oh yeah, the Pottermore.
It retconned like a bunch of stuff in her books because she didn't. It was all this add-on crap, and she doesn't really.
She even does that in the books themselves. Like,
Well,
What is it?
she does that with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I recently rewatched and reread half of the Harry Potter books, and I already found like 4 inconsistencies with those books.
right?
And we talked a little bit about some of them, but there's actually one really glaring one in the films, which is Dumbledore actually never teaches Defense Against the Dark Arts, and it's actually mentioned in the book that he never did. And,
Okay.
And they have him teaching it in Fantastic Beasts.
So yeah, there's that one. But like even just like the small things about how her world works and like,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
cause like it just seems like every new book she's like, here's a cool spell or a cool magic item that's gonna be really important for just this story, and then I'm never gonna talk about it ever again for the next 5 books.
Correct.
Oh yeah, no, she's
And, like,
not a great author.
Not
No.
even like the time turner shit. Like when you took like with the whatever they do in Deathly Hollows, like they can teleport. I forget what they call like
Apparate.
apparate. Thank you. Like I get that. I guess they had to be like a certain age. I guess like akin to driving, they need a license or whatever to be able to do that. Fine, but if that's a common skill among wizards, why the hell are port keys a thing? Other than the fact that she needed a port key to get Harry to the cemetery at the end of Goblet of Fire.
I can answer that, actually.
Like,
I can actually... there is an answer to that question.
okay.
Port keys are used for shady shit. So, apparating can be tracked. Port keys can.
That's another thing that seems inconsistent. Like, not just specifically those, but just in general.
That's
They
why.
just- right, but like, I
And
have
all-
a hard time believing. Like, we have the whole thing in
Right.
the actual Harry Potter books. The Ministry of Magic is shit. They don't know that Voldemort's fucking around for like 3 books, in complete denial about it. You really
Right.
kinda, like, it's hard for me to be convinced that they can accurately track everybody's, use of magic.
Right. Well, and then the other part where port keys, or at least what's supposed to be the explained away for port keys, is that apparating in front of people would scare them because they can see you do that.
But grabbing a boot in the middle of a hill and disappearing is not going to scare them. Like,
Well, but it's like a secret way to travel. I mean, that's a little bit... I agree with you. A boot in the middle of the hill. But the boot in the middle of the hill, the idea is that it's so reclusive that, like, what is one guy that's, like,
Yeah.
drunk or going to kill himself? Like, he's the guy that sees you? Like...
I mean, I'm talking like specifically the Porkies, not the flus or like when Weasley takes the toilet into the Ministry office. Like, fine, yeah, I
Right.
get they want like clandestine ways to travel their world within the mortal or Muggle world, but like
Right.
it just
But even those
you
don't
know.
make sense to your point. Like if you go into
Yeah.
a phone booth or you go into a toilet and nobody comes out.
Yep. Especially when there's a huge line in front of
Right.
the walls. I mean, I know, like,
Right, like think about that. So think about because the movies are a great teller of the book because I mean you're imagining it in the book, but if you watch the movie, like if there was really a line of people going to a bathroom and it's a bathroom nobody ever comes out of,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like besides the fact of you would never want to go to the bathroom, you think it's cursed. Like what? Like you just think everybody's dying. Like 30 people just died because they went to this bathroom. Like, right? It's like it doesn't make sense. Like it almost. It's funny. She in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, that actually made more sense than what she did in Harry Potter.
but then it actually still screws things up. That
Well, no,
like,
the movie screws it up, but I'm saying like at the end of the movie, when like all the shit hits the fan,
mm-hmm.
and all the wizards basically go, they pull a Men in Black. They're like
just mind wiped everybody.
just mind fuck everybody. Like that's it. Like that's how we solve the problem. Just mind fuck.
We screwed it up. Just restart everything.
Yeah, it's like, but that made more sense.
Mm-hmm.
Than just having magical shit everywhere,
So
and nobody
honestly,
notices it.
this reminds me a little bit about the differences between hard and soft sci-fi.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
So yeah, in case any viewers don't know, soft sci-fi is the author hand waves shit, and it's just like science. Mm-hmm. Hard sci-fi is we can extrapolate this happens because of this principle, and theoretically it might happen. Thus, I'm going to write about it and make it really cool.
Right.
So, J.K. Rowling is doing soft sci-fi, but she's not even trying to make it plausible. She's not trying to make it consistent. She's not trying to make it plausible. Yeah. It's just wizard shit.
Well, right, and
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I keep jumping.
I was just kind of like that. That's like whenever I do say like I love good world building. That's usually what I'm talking about. Making sure things are consistent within your own world. Not so much.
Right.
Cool. They have cool slang and their own snacks. Like I don't really give a shit about that. Just like make sure all the you follow your own rules in your own created universe.
Correct.
You know? And like when things are just completely inconsistent and like the whole introduction with the Obscurals and Fantastic Beasts, like, okay, so these kids suppress their magical power, but then they're dead by 10. Thank God Harry Potter is just a freak who's like, whatever, glass disappears in front of me, I don't care, I don't need to suppress.
Right.
Like,
no, but that
let's not tell him he's a wizard till he's 11.
Well, that's a good point. And actually, I never really thought about that until just now. That actually is really...
How many kids were muggles who are just like... or muggle-born and are just like, oh shit, I explode.
In the movies, they're like, we haven't had an Obscural since the Salem witch trials. Like, bullshit.
Well, but that goes back to what we were saying before. Like, I think her problem is that, like, it makes, like, it's funny, I'm gonna talk about Tolkien a lot tonight. Because if you think about Tolkien, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you think about the later parts of Tolkien, he described how like the fantasy world was what's the word I want? It was like fading, and the world of man was taking over. Because that's the only way it works. Because if you have a fucking fantasy world with dragons and shit all here. How do you keep that under wraps all the time? Now I get it. You have a ministry, and that's supposed to be the point of the ministry. But I agree with you. It's like, how plausible is it? Yeah,
the whole masquerade, essentially.
Well, right, and we've talked about like Vampire the Masquerade. That's another great example.
Yes.
Like even in Vampire the Masquerade, it is very common that the masquerade gets like fucked.
but then they
kill people.
Made generational things to be like, okay, we mind wipe this person, we pay off that person, we wipe this from the internet.
Right. Meaning they're
like they have created an internal logic of this is what has to happen to not get fucked.
Right. And that goes back to the whole like world building and stuff. And I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks too, and this is why like we've talked about this at a great length, but I just wish J.K. Rowling would have wrote a fucking sequel to the books of Harry as a goddamn adult. Like
I want him as a depressed like Auror who's drinking his way to death.
Whatever it is.
I don't know. Voldemort cultists are still running around.
Whatever. Make an adult series. We've talked about this, like, because the people that would have read the book, right, would have enjoyed it. We would have, or we all grew up reading the book. It could be for adults, something. So you make an adult series instead of writing this mystery shit.
Well, the problem is, she's writing mystery shit, and this is how the mystery shit in Harry Potter would have turned out. It would have been a guy dressed up like a woman to walk into women's restrooms to murder them. That's 900 pages of a mystery.
Yeah, well. Anyway. Well, by the way, spoiler alert, if you're going to read that series of books, there you go. But the point is, and for anybody that doesn't know, the surname Robert, what the fuck does she use? I forget the last name. It's a man's name, but she wrote it. She writes it under a surname of a male.
Pseudonym.
A pseudonym. Yeah, I don't know why. But fuck it.
Oh, it's because she didn't want people to compare it to Harry Potter.
But then it immediately came out that it's her, and so yeah.
Yeah.
No, she had 2 books come out before it came out it was her.
I know, but it's stupid.
No, I can understand.
It's dumb.
It's
dumb. Here's why.
Oh my god.
No, I mean, I can understand when she first did it, but like, once it came out, it's like, okay, it's out. Why are you pretending?
Yeah, don't keep doing it. Just put the fucking books with your name on it, because let people just judge you for who you are. It's fine. Like, because people are going to do it anyway. It's the internet. People find out shit. Like, you can't keep stuff like that under wraps. Not anymore. You used to be able to, but not now. What was it?
Yeah, what was it? Like, when Stephen King had his pseudonym.
Correct. That's a good example.
Oh, gosh. And everybody found, and like, it got, and he came out with, I believe, 7 books as Richard Bachman.
Yep.
And then, people found out somehow. And he's like, cool, awesome, I'm going to hold a funeral for Richard Bachman.
Right.
He did. There's an actual headstone for his goddamn pseudonym.
And that's why that's in one of his stories. He actually
made a whole... Yeah, that's the Dark Half.
Dark Half, yeah. That's why you put that in Dark Half, because that Dark Half book, basically the writer in it is him. Well, most of the time the writer in the story is based on him, but yeah.
It is him. I love the man.
It is.
Oh, most of his protagonists are just him.
Oh yeah, they're 100% him. But it's funny how this turned into a book conversation. I just was talking about how I know nothing about books. We just had fucking 20 minutes of book talk. That's really funny. But yeah, see, it's horror sci-fi. Don't fucking ask me about a current affair domestic book. I don't give a flying fuck about anything political. But anyway, so yeah, I wanted an adult Harry Potter. Like, it would have been fine. It would have been great. And see, there she could have gotten into it, because my theory about what would have happened in the later years of Harry Potter is that I think the world changed after what happened in Harry Potter.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's a magical world and a human world anymore. I think it's a hybrid world where like more stuff is known.
Like when you have wizard terrorists running off, killing hundreds of people in a post 9/11 security state.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really cover that one up.
Yeah.
Unless you destroy all modern technology. Which would be declaring war on the humans again. And guess what? Humans have M16s and aren't afraid to drop bunker busters on a castle.
Well, one would assume they can't find the castle because they put an enchantment to make it unseen like Hermione did. Because if Hermione could do that at the age she's at school...
that actually reminds me of something which would be very useful.
Well,
there was an article in the New York Times today about a Australian, not security, for an Australian research group that was tracking how China is creating more and more quote unquote re-education camps
Oh, nice.
by nightlight surveillance from satellites. So essentially, it'd be like, oh,
That's great.
why are there a bunch of lights at night in the middle of nowhere? And then they could see it, they could see it during the day and be like, oh, they're building these camps. So at that point, you're just like, oh, bunch of trains and shit leaving from this place.
Yeah.
But we can't see where they're going because the tracks lead literally nowhere.
Like, I feel like there's got to be some security guard at, like, King's Crossing that just sees a bunch of kids running into a wall and disappearing. Like, come on.
Oh, yeah. No, he's just drinking Beefeater at this point.
I was going to say. He's heavily... What he does is he tries to forget about the lost children at the bar afterwards. He just drinks heavily. So that all the hallucinations...
Another family go in today. They didn't come out.
He goes to the same bar that everybody that sees everyone go through the bathroom entrance at the Ministry. Same place. They all hang out. And they go, fucking people disappear on our watch. We're terrible at our jobs. Let's drink until we can't feel anymore.
This is why Conquer the Vigil, which is a White Wolf and an Onyx Path role-playing game.
So good.
It literally... This is not the one with angels, mind you.
Fuck you, that's better.
No, it's not.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. You don't know what you're talking about.
That is a literal thing where people are like, we just keep seeing weird shit in our neighborhood and we need to stop it because it's driving us insane.
Mm-hmm.
And then they band together and go curb stomp stuff, hopefully. Or die horribly. It's one or two. There's no in between.
Yeah, the ladder of dying horribly is pretty... It's pretty much a given.
Yeah, so they're just like, oh, they should be like, oh, wizards, just curb stomp them. If you can't point your wand at something, you can't do magic.
Well, yes, but
for the most part.
That's so
for the most part.
Going back to what Sean was saying, that's another gray area.
Because it's wildly inconsistent. It's considered wandless magic as is extremely difficult, but then you have a movie where a guy's just stirring his coffee mug without a wand, and it's just like
well, no, but it's in the book that you could do it too.
Right, but I think it's supposed to be like only like the elite or something, like most of the trained could actually do it.
Correct, which is why like someone like Snape can do it, because he just counters when Harry attacks him in the book. He does just counter him by waving his hand. He doesn't have to say his spells, which is why he keeps countering Harry, because he's like, you keep telling me the spell you're going to do, so I keep doing the counter.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was one thing, like, they said, like, yeah, like, not having to say the spells, that's accepted. It's the wand, like, without using a wand, that's, like, very gray area whether or not that's actually even possible, I think.
Well, right. Well, because there's also the thing that is inconsistent with those books, too, is that there's inherent power. Because, again, going back to what we talked about, when you know you're a wizard, you can just do shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're just doing shit as you using magic.
Yeah.
So, therefore, you did stuff without using a wand.
Yep.
So, but and I'm saying this to agree with you, Sean.
Yeah.
That's what makes it inconsistent, because... You're doing
all the Muggle kids who like have no idea that magic exists, and all of a sudden shit's just happening to them, like Harry, and like again the whole obscure thing, like they probably like. And
again, really cool avenue that she never explored. I think it would be cool if there was
she's a bad writer.
I think it would be cool if there was a mental asylum for kids that were like that.
Oh my god, is this just the New Mutants? Are you just making the New Mutants?
It's fine, whatever.
The thing is,
it's fucking crazy.
Actually,
it's fucking.
The seeds for like that whole idea, I think, in Deathly Hallows, when in the book itself, and they go into Dumbledore's backstory, like it's pretty much just like, oh yeah, this is what happened to his sister. She went insane because a bunch of Muggle kids beat the shit out of her when she couldn't recreate whatever magic she did when she was 6 years old.
Correct.
Without ever actually naming it as Obscural back then, or Obscurus, or whatever. Like, I feel like they even changed the names in the movie. Like, I don't know what's what.
No, but you're right. That's just and that's supposed to be the link in Fantastic Beasts with Dumbledore.
Yeah, I feel like
they're trying to link. They're trying. In the first movie, they were inferring it, so all of us who were watching it were like, "Oh, that connects that story."
Right.
And then
that's what Grindelwald and Dumbledore fought about, and that killed his sister. And
right.
Whatever.
But then, of course, the second movie, we just went like, "Oh, by the way, fuck this movie. We're just going to talk about Harry Potter for 2 hours." And completely
twists.
And completely not make a movie that makes sense at all. And then also, we'll just go with Johnny Depp, even though publicly everyone wants to curb stomp him at this point. But yeah, anyway, let's get back on track on a question. This is good. We talked a lot about Harry Potter.
It's definitely it's an icebreaker.
Yeah,
Fostering discussion.
I'm gonna go fast with mine. I'm gonna hold up the book if I can find my camera.
But yes, your furry book.
Yeah, so Beastars is the book is the anime that I will be the manga that I'm going to talk about, because I was kind of disappointed with this. I'm sorry, I held it up to the wrong camera, guys. But yeah, the Beastars, to describe this in. So it's funny because the cover, it was mentioned before. Maybe you saw a cover of something you thought was really cool, and then you read it, and it wasn't that cool. This is it, because when I saw this cover, I was like, "Whoa, it's a wolf guy that kind of looks like Cowboy Bebop." He's sort of dressed in the way that Cowboy
Spike.
Yeah, he actually is dressed a lot like Spike.
Yeah,
but it's
Bebop is the ship. They're cowboys.
Yeah.
Aha.
So the idea is that I was like, "Oh, that looks really cool," or like it has like a Reservoir Dogs kind of feel, and I'm like, "Oh, this looks kind of awesome." Yeah.
Nah.
and then I read it, and it's kind of weird. Not gonna lie. And then some sexual themes started to emerge in this, and yeah, some other stuff happened, and I'm a little scared. And I don't know if I want to buy another volume of this. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I
got to unfortunately inform John that there is an anime on Netflix about it.
Yeah, apparently.
And it looked really. Oh God. Say it, John. Say it.
I was just. I Wikipedia'd it, and it was produced in Japan originally. Netflix just has the distribution rights outside of Japan. So it's not like it wasn't Netflix produced.
Oh yeah, no, not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch this. I'm not. This, and then what's crazy about it, so to give this just a summation, so it is basically teenage, animals that are humanoid animals that are teenagers. They're going to high school. It's it's set in very much in the what is it? Asian private school setting. But they're they're divided into like carnivores and herbivores. So essentially, carnivores and herbivores don't live in the same places or whatever, because there's temptation, because it's a crime in their world if a carnivore eats a herbivore. But of course, all the carnivores want to eat the herbivores because it's their nature and their instinct. And the book starts with a murder happening, and what is the name of the fucking main character of this book? Lugi or
Wolf Boy.
Lugushi or whatever the fuck his name is. The wolf that's on the cover.
Wolf Boy.
He's the main character that you follow. He's part of drama club. He works the like sets and costumes and everything. And yeah, it's about his like life, but he's friends with herbivores. But then he meets this bunny who's kind of a whore. And yeah, it's just very weird. And there's like I'm pretty sure I didn't talk about this part, but there's an elk who I'm pretty sure is bicurious and wants to have sex with the wolf. That's the sex themes that emerge in this book. I was like, so there's a lot going on. Yeah.
It is a furry, more explicitly furry version of Zootopia.
Yeah, so I'm not going to read probably volume 2 of this. I'm going to give another manga series a try. I thought it was going to be a good read. I only paid like $5 for it.
Woohoo! Employee discount.
Yeah, there you go. Won't be doing that again. But there's another series that I want to see that's kind of has magic and steampunk in it, which I want to check
which
that
one?
out. I don't remember the name.
You disappoint me.
I'm sorry. I've seen it like 3 times, and I saw it on the shelf, and I never grabbed it. But I do have like a lot of other books to read, so I think I'm gonna. I did grab. This is kind of a fun thing. This is actually the opposite question of something that I was happy about or surprised me. I bought a copy, so I am reading Adventure Zone because I want to get some personal inspiration for our content, because my hope is to eventually get to a point where we are kind of doing that, because I'm a little behind, but the first strip of our Toon campaign, which we'll be back to doing next week, will be up on my Patreon. But I do want to do a little bit more with our sessions and our RPG sessions, so I wanted to read it for inspiration. But didn't know it at the time, but when I grabbed the first copy of it, it was actually signed by the writer and artist. Yeah, apparently there are signed copies, so that is a thing. I'm not going to say where I work, because I never say that on my stream, but where I work, I'm able to get signed copies of things, and that is a thing that they do. But it wasn't labeled, so I grabbed it off the shelf and only paid my employee discount price, but I got it signed, so that was kind of cool.
Yay!
And it's interesting to check out, and I got some really cool ideas by looking at it.
Yes, so I actually have good book news also. I have now completed the Wheel of Time series.
I feel like you just want to brag about that just because.
A little bit. It's 8-point-something million words.
He finished the books before he died, guys. Yay!
Also, it was really moving, really cool. Definitely have some issues with some of the writing and themes of the stuff, but still really, really cool. Also, one chapter, which was about the the last battle, was over 200 pages long.
Yeah.
So I feel accomplished reading a chapter that was more than a lot of books.
This is true. It is longer than the first Harry Potter book, so kudos to you, sir.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Yeah, everything was cool.
Very good. Well, now I think we're going to move. So we've talked for 42 minutes about books, which I didn't think that could happen. We should maybe we could talk about books more often. But we're going to move into our other parts of the show. We did have a few viewers. We still have our one gallant viewer. Thank you for watching. And as always, I like to remind everybody, we love when you participate and jump in. If you have questions, comments, if you want to shoot out your opinion on what we're talking about, we love that. Of course, we're all bantering and talking, but don't ever think that that's a reason that you can't talk to us as well. So, first thing on the docket. Dun, 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 dun. I was gonna say. I feel like we're just gonna hear Zach scream some more, because the first topic is literally tabletop gaming.
Yay!
Zach, take it away. No. So I actually have a few things I want to talk about. I'm showing a picture of GW's website right now, which we will get to in just a minute. I didn't get a chance to grab the other thing, but I want to talk about Mantic Games really quick. So, first, yeah. So you can't go nuts yet. So Mantic Games, I want to talk about them for a moment. First off, I always like to say thank you to them. I've been talking with the folks over there. Actually, I think today, if everything went well, I will have some other goodies coming my way, and we will definitely get those up on the channel. But I always like to say a big shout out to the folks over there, Kyle, and also now Martin, who I've been talking with. It's awesome. Some really cool announcements. Not only did they get a Magic supplement that jumped out, they got now they have an Armada game. So they have a ship-based game that debuted, which looks pretty interesting. And then also one of the things that I definitely talked with Kyle about that was really exciting was they did a Goblin 2-player starter set, which looks
them and Ratkin.
And the Ratkin, right?
Which
looks
actually the first plastic models. Well, actually, the first fantasy models of Ratkin they have done.
Yep, and that looks really cool. So I'm really excited about that as well. And just in general, again, continued pumping out just some really cool stuff. And we've said it a lot on this channel, and I think I probably because of it, I'll never get sponsored by GW. ever. But because I've said a lot of things, and Zach has said quite a lot of things. So between the two of us, I think we pretty much nullified GW as a sponsor. But
I mean, if they want to throw money at me for speaking bad about them, I will totally do that.
right, but people don't
That'd
do
be
that.
a weird marketing.
I was gonna say you don't usually throw money at the people that are complaining about your product.
Then make better products.
Oh boy, here it comes. Hold the game back, Zach. Just hold it back. Hold the rage. But yeah, the the idea is that I always say it. You know, with Mantic Games, I do love the fact that they really are just continuing to try to pump out quality stuff, but at a smaller price point to allow folks to experience something, and especially during the pandemic and everything that's happening. It is really a breath of fresh air to be able to do that, because, you know, if you want to get into games, you want to get into tabletop games, at least you have a facet and an ability to do so, because it's tough on all around. So that's one on the list, because you know, I'm actually going to talk about a GW model I got in the GW segment, but the fact that, and I didn't pay I'm going to say right now, because I'm going to have a shout out for this as well, I didn't pay the actual price it's supposed to be. But if I did, holy crap. It's definitely not what it should be. You know, and it just shows the
I don't even
contrast.
know what it is. I'm just gonna say no.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much, yeah. We'll get there, but a little surprise, a little mystery. But yeah, so I just wanted to shout out Mantic Games. I'm sorry I don't have a graphic up, but some really cool content coming, and they have some additional announcements they haven't done yet. Mm-hmm. I am sad to say that the Giant is sold out, but I have an alternative Giant, and because Mantic Games are cool like that, I can use an alternative model because they're awesome. So,
also, if you want to learn more about Armada, which is the new, literal, that's just what they're calling their ship game.
Yeah.
Check out Countercharge.
Yep.
It is a podcast. It is basically about all things Kings of War, and they are awesome people.
Yeah.
And also they discuss like kind of the rules. So if you played Warlord Games, their ship game, it's based off of that rule set, but they tweaked a lot of stuff because they got permission from Warlord Games to go ahead.
Very cool. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe at one point we'll start playing it here, but I'm not saying I don't like games like that, but I want to focus on Kings of War and Vanguard, I think, more. Not to say I don't like games like that, because I have played other games that are similar. Unfortunately, I will not recommend any of GW's games in that arena or space, because they're bad. But yeah, like the Air Force game, which is terrible, that GW made.
That is a ripoff.
Yeah, and what is it? That Titanium. That's right.
Titanicus.
Titanicus. Thank you.
It's Aeronautica and
Titanicus. Yeah, they're really horrible games. But yeah, but yeah, Mantic, thank you for all the awesomeness. Keep it up, and I cannot wait. I'm going to do a massive overhaul job of getting all my Hellboy stuff painted, because the next live gaming session that we do is going to be delving into that Hellboy game. We are going to all be part of the Bureau and get our asses handed to us, probably by a bunch of shit that tries to kill us. But we're going to try not to do that. So that's going to be our next thing. So I'm excited. All right, so talking about GW. There's not really much to talk about as far as new stuff. They're going on this. They're really going on this big kick with like books. You know, it's like book up the ass wazoo. It's a lot of just lore and stuff. I know the Necron book is on its way for the Necron army, which I'll be getting that. I'll be doing kind of a review of that, as well as the new Necron units, which I will say I am excited about one of them, which is I call them like the crazy Necrons, because they're like the...
Oh, the...
they're,
oh, God.
I forget the unit name.
The flayed ones.
Yeah, they're like fucked up Necrons. They're not completely functional Necrons. Sort of like the crazy Daleks, if you ever watched Doctor Who, that were all on one planet, where they're like all the Dalek rejects. They're kind of the same idea. Right? Because that in the lore, it's like they got activated, but they didn't fully activate.
Kind of. They got activated, but something went wrong. I
Yeah.
think they may have a virus of some sort.
Yeah. So
it's a Forge World book they were initially announced in.
But I'm looking forward to that. That looks pretty cool.
Yeah. The cool thing about flayed ones, because Sean, you don't know shit. No offense, and
he's
may not be the correct words to use. But
he's
you don't know what
he's
we're talking
participating. He's got big hands with gloves. He's fine.
about. I know they got air in them.
They're with air hand.
And air.
Hair. He pushes the hand air at his enemies with his big gloves.
Yes, that's his stand.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so Sean, what flayed ones are? They're Necrons, which are basically Terminators without skin.
Okay, cool. I like how you're going to explain one term using another term that I also won't know.
They're
Right.
Terminators without skin.
He doesn't.
Okay.
He doesn't
they're
know.
just the
He doesn't.
The
metallic-
flayed ones are Necrons. Cool.
He doesn't know what a Necron is.
I love how you guys interrupt me as I'm trying to explain.
It's funny because you're a rage. I like it because you're like a rage cage. If I keep poking the rage cage, more rage happens. It's fun. No, okay, go ahead.
So anyway, they are T-1000s, except they think they should be people. So they got these long claws,
That's why I said.
and they fillet the skin off of living beings and wear it.
Yep. Yep.
And then they constantly add to it because they think they need more skin to become people.
AKA fucked up.
So the joke is, they ain't ever gonna be people.
So, Cybermen who became...
Yes.
What's his name from Silence of the Lambs?
Yes.
Yeah. Buffalo Bill.
That's
There
it.
you go, yeah.
Well, and the Dalek thing. The reason I said that is if you watch that episode, which is Asylum of the Daleks, it's
The Dalek?
or Dalek. It's the same thing because it's the broken ones think they're humans. Like they still think they're the human.
Yes. Except the flayed ones are a little bit more
Right.
proactive in their approach.
And they did do Cybermen that were like that too. Actually, if you read, that's more new Doctor Who. You'd have to have watched the newer episodes to see something like that.
Okay.
But anyway, you're right. Yeah, they're really screwed up. I'm really excited about them. I'm also excited about their king. Like all the Necron models are very cool that are coming out.
Yes, they are.
And then I can't believe I'm going to say this. They released something new for Lord of the Rings because that game they remembered they were making it. Which is the Mines of Moria. You can own the Mines of Moria for $25.
Yeah, which is weird.
Right.
I don't trust it.
Well, I'll tell you why it's $25. Because it isn't the fucking. Wait. Say it again, Sean. Say that again.
Door?
Correct. It is a door. It's a fucking door and 4 pillars and some shit you put on the ground.
Oh, boy.
That's not the Mines of Moria, folks. The Mines of Moria was a giant structure. In fact,
Mines of Moria are fucking mines.
it's the tomb. It's the tomb where his brother was. That's it. That's all you get. $25. GW,
And let me guess.
go fuck
resin?
yourself. What?
Is it resin?
I don't fucking know. Craft your very own balanced tomb. I'm reading this off the website. Plastic terrain. Plastic.
Ooh.
For the
Big boy pants for them.
for plastic terrain for the Middle Earth strategy battle game. By the way, the Middle Earth in general, the Lord of the Rings game, terrible name. The
Terrible name.
the Middle Earth strategy battle game.
Decent game, horrific name.
And I love how they say,
No. Technically licensed.
wow,
They are licensed.
yeah,
Well, I don't know if it's like one of those
Oh,
So like
meaning
the games like the Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor, those are technically Middle Earth Shadow of War, not Lord of the Rings. So there was like
right.
something where they couldn't use Lord of the Rings
Oh, I
map
gotcha.
or
Oh,
something like
okay.
that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why they had to call it that. Oh, that's a good point. All right. All right. There you go,
I
Sean.
mean, just the Middle Earth part. I don't know about the rest of it.
Sean.
Strategy game. Like,
Sean's. I like how Sean's the good guy. He's like, they might have been just having an off day. It was a Tuesday. Me and Zach are like, be fucking better.
I don't
Sean's.
know. I'm
because
the one being fucking better. Like, maybe we should pull our horse back into the stable real quick.
I like. Sean's like, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. It's all right. Maybe something happened. Somebody had a bad day. And I'm sitting there
Yeah.
going like $25 for literally $25 for something for stuff you're gonna throw on the floor. They don't even give you like a structure. It's like, oh, and then let's talk about another thing that pisses me off with GW. Now I'm gonna go to rant.
Go ahead.
I bought a box set for this fucking model and then they released it by itself. Which GW never does that.
Which one?
Ever. The Light of Authority.
Oh, yeah.
The new people. So just fuck me, right? Like, I bought a box because I know GW. I'm like, oh, there's a character in the box. They're not going to let me just buy the character. Because they never, ever do that. And then they go and do that.
Got.
Well, but why do you start doing that now? We're being douchebags. Now we're going to make everything separate.
They're being douchebags solely because they released the box, which is the only way to get units for this army for, I want to say, a couple months.
Yeah.
At least. Then they said, okay, now we're going to re-release these units separately.
Yes.
Making it A, available for people, but B, you can... anybody who's already bought the box is now invested in this army and has to buy more shit.
Well, right. And here's the
and
thing.
They never said, however, that the dude was ever going to be an exclusive to the box. I will say that for them. They never said that.
Right, but here's why I'm mad. If I didn't buy the fucking box, I would have saved money.
Yeah.
Because I could have bought a digital manual for the fucking army, and then I could have bought all the models and would have paid less money. The reason why I paid a lot of money is they put this nice fucking collector's edition tome in it, and all this other bullshit that I didn't care about. I don't care about a collector's edition. Look, art is beautiful. I don't care. I really don't care about how beautiful the book looks. Because you know why? I'm going to get rid of the book because you guys are going to come out with another edition. I'm going to buy a new one anyway. I don't care about the books. Oh, and also, these dice that they release for these people, you need to just, like, stop. They're certain...
Or just any dice they release.
They're round dice. They're round...
My head hurt.
They're round octagon dice, which are going to just roll straight. First of all, they are so long that if you roll them down a table, you will take out half of your opponent's army. You'll break models because you're rolling 10 of these things. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Just again, it's like, oh, just spend $30 because theming. If we theme it, they'll buy it. No, I'm going to buy 6-sided dice that are cheaper. So dumb.
Forge World has released Legion dice.
The fuck is a Legion dice?
For the Horus Heresy, they're like, oh, we're gonna release these limited edition dice for the original dumb. Space Marine Legions.
Oh, that's dumb. That's so dumb.
I'm like, cool. Release Jedi Con so I can finally play this game because I love the con. I don't care. I'll just, I don't want to play Horus Heresy. I'll just buy the model because I love the con.
Oh yeah, you don't have to. But yeah, it's just like, it just doesn't make sense. And then, I will show off the model I got. So, I will be building this later on tonight. I will be doing a review and build of this. But I actually scored myself the Archmage Techless.
Oh, wow, you went weird.
What do you mean I went
He's
weird?
Batman. Well, he's on like a Catman thing.
Yeah, it's fine. But he's a good piece for this army. Have you read him in the tome? Do you know what he
Oh
does?
yeah, no, it's insane.
Oh, he's nuts.
Yeah, he's a literal god.
Well, he's on the level of Nagesh.
Yeah, he's a literal god.
Yeah, he's crazy. But yeah, so for Sean who can't see this or doesn't have a frame of reference of what we're talking about, yeah, he basically is a mage character god, and he doesn't ride. He flies with a giant sphinx.
Yeah, no, it's crazy as shit.
It's really really crazy. Yeah, he and it's part of this army that we're talking about. So the
which are basically just elves made of light,
kind of, yeah. That's a good. Well, I mean that character, the $40 model that I was talking about, that is literally a dead. It's a spirit of an elf made of light, because when they die, they become pure light. Right? Is that?
I don't know.
I
think have the book.
I think that's
the limited edition book.
I have the lore. I think when I read it, that's like something that happens, or they can do some sort of ceremony where that can happen. But because they were, yeah, it's crazy. But this thing, like, it shoots like insanely off the board. It's like the Gesh, where I think he can cast like 5 or 6 spells. Like,
yeah, depending on its health brackets.
It's like crazy. Yeah, and so this model, but this is where this is the point I'm bringing up. This model, you might notice a green price tag on this of $170.
Yep.
That is normally what this would have cost. I did not pay that, and I want to give a big shout out to Undiscovered Realms, because those guys are awesome, and they've been very supportive, and we'll be doing some other stuff in the channel, and I'll be definitely giving them a shout out on other videos, because of you know, what we're going to be doing together. So they really hooked me up, and I want to say thank you. For folks that don't know what Undiscovered Realms is, it is a
friendly local gaming store.
Yeah, they are really a gaming store. They also have an amazing amount of pops. And when I say amazing amount of pops, like if you're a Funko Pop collector, they have they take in collections. They have an array of stuff. But if you're looking for a place to get Magic, even the Dragon Ball Super card game, Warhammer stuff, board gaming stuff, you know, and actually they're very big into toys too. In retro toys. You definitely want to check them out if you're in the New York, Westchester area. And they also have a website, undiscoveredrealms.com. And you can actually order and buy, and they'll ship to you. They actually ship all over the United States. So please support them. They definitely can use it because of the pandemic and stuff. So I want to give them a shout out. And I know Zach and I are also trying to get some Blood Bowl stuff going on there, but they haven't been able to open up for gaming
because virus.
Yeah, so we're gonna work on some really cool stuff with them, and you know, definitely I'll have some other announcements, but I want to give them a shout out. But yeah, I'm excited to put this together. And it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, I think it's way overpriced.
Oh God, yes, everything from GW is way overpriced.
So way overpriced. I mean, $170. This one model is almost is literally $10 cheaper than the box we were just talking about. And you got a whole. Well, you didn't really get a whole army. You got half of an army in the box because you got 3 units in the box. But
cool. So Sean, I'm gonna show you the model.
Oh yeah.
Because we're on Discord, and I can send you links.
Thank you, because I don't have the bandwidth to help that. I also didn't have it in front of me. I have the box in front of me, the physical box.
Why is he standing on the Sphinx swing like that?
He's flying. He's not standing.
Yeah, building that's gonna be a bitch.
Oh, it is. It's gonna be 100. And by the way, another reason why I hate GW and I like Kings of War better, because Kings of War or Mantic games, I feel like their model design is a little bit more solid and definitely more structural.
Instead of in our professional studio development place, we're gonna have magic magnets holding these things together.
Well, right. That's the part that nobody likes to admit, which is, yeah, those sons of bitches magnetize everything so that they can shoot differently. And not to say, as a hobbyist, learning how to magnetize is not important, because I do think it is, especially if you're playing 40K. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not practical for someone getting into the hobby for the very first step. It's hard. it's I don't know how any other way to say it. It's not easy to magnetize, everything or understand exactly how to do that, because you basically have to, for folks who don't know what that is, you basically have to build a model. So like this wonderful, what the hell are these things called? Lavakin? Is that what these things are?
Sphinx. It's a Sphinx.
No,
Really,
no,
it's a fucking
no,
Sphinx.
no. I'm holding a different model up. It's the Fire Slayers, the Magnadroth. That's it.
Oh yeah.
So like, there's a guy that sits on top of there that I didn't put on there yet. It actually would be to my benefit to magnetize that, because I could actually change the rider of that depending on who I want to have on there. To actually do that, you have to put the magnets inside the model. For someone who doesn't know how to do that, you will be in real big trouble. There's a cheat I'm going to do on this one, which is why I built it and I can do it differently. But yeah, it's very outside of the box. But they don't tell you at GW's website, where they take all their wonderful pictures and they put all these models together, that they're doing that. So they're not trying to glue shit together. Because you gotta glue that guy on a wing. And that's like, for anybody that plays Death, anybody that has Death models, that's why they all break. Because they made them all hang on these spirits. They're like, oh, this like really delicate, springy thing. Let's put an entire fucking skeleton on top of it. Oh, it'll just stand, like, through laws of engineering of physics. It's just, there are some models. And my other favorite thing that GW does, they put spikes at everything. So when you go to put
To
a
be fair, that's the aesthetic they spent 30 plus years building.
I
Spikes
know,
and skulls.
but you can't hold it, and when you try to put it together, you stab yourself. Like,
Yeah, that's part of the aesthetic. You add a little blood into it.
no, it's not.
It just seems like, people who buy GW are just glutton for punishment anyways. Might as well stab yourself while you're doing it.
Well, you feel that's very true. You feel like a jackass, but I'm just saying, like, if you have a Chaos army, or if you have an Orc army, you're like, ah. And you're like trying to put an arm in, and you're in the process of drawing blood out of your own hand. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, if you don't bleed when putting together GW models, you're doing it wrong.
or the other side, you're like, oh, I'm gonna be like a goblin player, and it's like, the models are so small, you can't put it together, or you've now glued everything to your hand. Like, this whole goblin is now stuck to your skin.
Have you seen the new Snotlings from the Blood Bowl?
I built them live on a stream. Yes, I'm very familiar with them.
Yes. Oh my god.
I'm extremely familiar with the pump wagon. Like, the pump wagon was designed by a fucking crazy person. So they make you put posts that you have to hold, that you have to put glue on, and then you have to line 4 of them up to fit a fucking roof on it, and they stick through holes. I'm like, there's no way to keep this straight. I'm like, how do you build this? And you can't put them in the. I'm like, this is crazy.
Jeez.
Oh, and then my favorite is it's on a Blood Bowl base, but it's a giant fucking car.
Yep.
So it has nowhere to stick on the base.
Yep.
So I had to improvise and actually build glue up to look like skid marks. So there was enough glue to hold the thing on the base.
Skid marks.
It's you dirty bastard. But yeah, it's just like it's just impractical, a lot of their builds, and like, yeah, they're so small, just really not good.
So, Sean, for perspective, a Snotling is a little goblin thing.
Well, we talked about it last time.
Look at your thumb. You see the nail in your thumb?
Yeah, that is right.
It's about that size.
That's the model you're building. That's the model you're building.
And how many parts does it have on the sprue?
Most of them have 3 parts. If not, some of them have 2, but some of them. So it's either 2 or it's 3. 3 is usually you have to glue the body together, and then the head is separate. Or they do a weird thing where it's like 2 bits of body you have to glue together, and then you got to put like a hand on. And I had to use tweezers. It's the first time I actually had to use tweezers to put the model together. I don't usually have to do that, but yeah, those I had to, because it was way too consuming, and it was not good. It made me want to kill God.
That's just DW. It might just be techless.
Oh no, the tech. You guys need to watch that stream, because if you want to watch me, like, I curse a lot in this one, but if you want to see me curse, cry, and probably give up on part of my life, it's gonna be when I build.
Don't forget stabbing yourself.
Oh no, I don't think I'm gonna stab myself with that one.
It's a GW model. You're gonna stab yourself somehow.
No, I don't think you can. I'm gonna break it though. I'll probably do that. Yeah. I'll break part of it and have to come up.
Oh yeah, that wing, the tech was supposed to be floating next to.
You know what? You know what? Here's what we're gonna do. I'm not gonna build it right now. I just want to open the box. Now that we're on the GW segment, I just want to open the box. Just want to open and look at the sprue. Fuck my life. Oh yeah, no. Nope. Oh yeah, fuck everyone. Yeah, this is horrible. You have to put the grass on the fucking. Oh, this is stupid. This is legitimately dumb. This is like not a single one of these pieces is not delicate. Even the things that build the giant creature. Oh no. Holy shit. How big is this base? Holy fuck. How big is that?
Huge?
Wait. What? Give me the base size. What is the base size for this model? Do you even tell me what the base size is when you put this giant fucking monstrosity on top of it? Oh yeah, no. There's bonsai trees and grass on this fucking thing. Oh yeah, this is dumb. I'm gonna kill someone. I'm gonna put this together. Yeah, that's huge. That base is insanely big. I don't know how big it is. Let's see, how many wounds does this idiot have?
A lot.
Let's see. I'm just curious because I know. All right, 16 wounds.
Yeah, that's a lot. But I think also has essentially an invulnerable save.
Yeah, it's probably true. Teclis is a wizard. The number of spells that he can cast is determined using the Archmage ability on the left. Wait, what?
Oh my god, did they give you rules with Teclis?
He can attempt to unbind any number of spells at his enemy hero phase. Wait, what?
Yeah, he just can unbind. Also, if I remember correctly, Teclis can cast either a few spells with a bunch of bonuses, or a bunch of spells with minor bonuses to the actual casting roll. So if you cast something like 2 spells, they get +3 to each roll.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff here. Yeah, we'll do a whole review of this. This is crazy. Yeah, he's got a protection spell that just hits people for damage. He's got
it's stupid. Everything's stupid.
Yeah, this is really bad. If successful, cast a roll die. Each enemy. Oh god, each enemy within 18 of the cast invisible to them. On a 1, nothing happens. On a 2 to 4, that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. On a +5, that unit suffers D6 mortal wounds. So he just hurts you for wounds.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy. Yeah, he's nuts. How many points is he? I wonder. I have to look at the other.
A lot. He is like Nagash level of points.
Well, that kind of makes sense because they don't really have a lot of units anyway, as an army.
All their units are really expensive.
Well, that's because that's the idea, is that you take the way you play this army, they're meant for you to take a character like him and then just take some supporting units, and then their units are ridiculous because they all can unbind and they can all cast magic for the most. I think pretty much almost all the units in that army can cast magic. But anyway, it's ridiculous. All right, moving on. So GW, we've carried you. That model's going to be ridiculous. You need to see that stream. You need to watch me build.
Have my 2-minute rant on GW.
All right, hold on. This is an important segment. This is
wait. Did you figure out the name yet, or is it a work in progress?
So. I was gonna say something, but I want to change it now. So this is going to be the GW True Trailer brought to you by Zach. Go for it.
All right. So, first off,
or honest trailer.
This is all gonna be 40K related. Fuck you, GW. You fucking pieces of shit. You lying sacks of shit.
Well,
anyway,
Zach has started out with his normal, Okay.
Right, so,
go for it. Oh, I found that bit that I lost a week ago. Yes. All right, go.
So, one of the things I'm pissed off about is that after years of irrelevancy in pushing Primaris Marines as the one true gospel, and also attempting to try to nerf all Chaos Marines except for Death Guard into oblivion. They are now making it so quote unquote firstborn Marines, so normal Space Marines and now Chaos Marines, are getting an extra wound.
Yep.
So this is going to be you basically said, hey, look at the shiny thing, hung that for a few years because they were unseemingly good. They have been pushed. There's not even I'm not even sure if there's really competition for
what
the best faction at the moment in 9th edition. Maybe there have been some weird things with Chaos Demons, but for the most part, Marines are... It's hard mode for anybody not playing Marines. It's fairly easy mode if you're playing Marines and anything against anybody else.
Well, I could say Necron. Well, Necrons are getting love because they got new units and stuff, but yeah.
Okay. The current Necron rules, still shit.
No, they are.
They need the new book in
correct
order to be any good.
I agree.
We will see if they somehow fuck that one up too.
They probably
My
will.
guess is probably. Because they don't want to hurt Space Marines.
Correct. Because so many people bought Space Marine shit.
Yeah, so...
That's why.
Also, Plague Marines are going to be fairly unkillable at this point.
Yes.
Because not only are they toughness 5, which negates the wound roll, which is the main gatekeeping role of hurting them. They also now have 2 wounds to play with if they're disgusting resilient, which means effectively they've at least they have doubled their wounds, obviously, from going to 1 to 2. But the real thing is, because of the 5-up save, they essentially get 1 extra phantom wound. So in practice, they essentially have 3 wounds each.
And now that is an assumption that probability says you're going to roll one of those as a save.
Yes.
Okay.
So if someone hits you with a 2 damage weapon,
right,
there's a good chance you're going to hit a 5, which means that they're going to keep living on, and it's just goddamn insane.
Well, I think it's insane to give them a second wound, just period. But
it's something that they've been needing, to be honest. But the buffs they are getting also from War of the Spider,
right,
which is the last campaign books to come out, well, before 9th edition dropped, have made them seriously tough and damage dealing. Putting Plague Marines on the board is not a bad strategy anymore.
No, because they used to be screening units, but now they're actually, like, you could compete and take...
no one would actually use them for screening. They would just use Poxwalkers because it would be easier. How can I put this? You can put them in cover, essentially, by having a couple of different auras. So they're walking the middle field in cover, giving them essentially a 2+ save. You can give them, I believe... you might be able to give them a bonus to their feel no pain, making it a 4 feel no pain, which essentially makes your 2 wounds down to 4 wounds.
Right.
You can. Oh god, it's just all awful.
No, it is. It is.
Goonhammer?
It is.
I'll actually put the link to this because Goonhammer did a bunch of math on this.
No, it does make them, and then you have to also expand on the cover rules, because if you think about the cover rules and the fact that they changed how you can use terrain to your advantage, all the things together make them a much more viable. Just, that this is a typical thing that happens with an edition change, and it also happens with the whole tweaking. They always forget to, we changed this thing, and then they tweak this thing, and they don't remember that happened, which causes these imbalance and power creeps that a lot of armies go through, because they don't have a really good facet for rule structure, which is one of the reasons why I like other games for their attention to detail with that.
And my last thing is that there are now rumors. I'm not sure if it's been confirmed or not by GW, but there's been some rumors that GW will now be encouraging people to bring their own terrain to games.
Yep.
Including tournaments.
That has not been confirmed, but I've heard that rumor. And that's because of the characteristics that terrain get now. And their thought process is that you can bring terrain, which, to be honest, I think this is a setup
for them to sell terrain.
Well, no, it absolutely 100% is, because that's all the new stuff that's coming out, which we didn't even talk about that. But terrain's one of the big things on the docket.
They went too simplistic in 8th edition, where it was either I can see you, no, I can't see you.
Right.
Magic box time, I can fire out of here.
Right.
And now they've added a bunch of different terrain rules, which have a flowchart. They have a flowchart for terrain now.
I do like some of them, because it makes other armies. So like me, I'm an orc player. I've said this before. I like some of the terrain rules because it makes orcs more dynamic, because you could do some different things with them.
Yeah.
I'm also a Necron player and a Death Guard player. You did give, to Zach's point, you've given me a lot of advantage now with some of the shit that you've done.
Also, capping the modifiers, there is frankly an absurd amount of modifiers in this game.
I think that you think that's a good idea, or you thought that was a bad idea? Before I say what I was going to say,
it completely destroys some armies.
Correct. Okay, then we're in agreement.
Built around modifiers, such as most of the Eldar armies.
Yes.
So Sean, I know you're just kind of twiddling your thumbs at this point.
We're gonna get off of this.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, no worries.
But
we'll talk about other stuff.
The way the Eldar armies, they were all glass cannons.
Yeah.
You could, if you touched them, they died. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about that.
Yeah,
They survived was cool. I'm gonna add penalties to the roll to hit me, and there were many ways for those penalties to stack.
Right.
In some cases, be cool. Now you physically can't hurt me.
Right.
But they can only do that to 1 unit a turn.
Right.
Now they capped the modifiers for all rolls to be either a +1 or a -1.
Right.
And with Space Marines getting to literally re-roll everything and add pluses to their rolls for no goddamn reason whatsoever. Besides the fact that GW said, I have a model I need to sell.
Right.
Let's pimp it out, boys.
Yeah, that's true.
Eldar are pretty shitty. Dark Eldar don't matter anymore.
Right.
Tyranids are dead. Gene Sealer Cult can't function.
Their
rules don't function anymore.
They'll get a new book.
Yeah, but not for months. And until then, the faction's dead because they literally don't work.
No, I know.
In the new rule set. Because of the way reserves work.
Right. Correct. Which took a lot of their power away, because that was a big part of their army.
It wasn't even power. It was literally just how they played, because
Well, right.
they built the entire army around like, ooh, we're gonna come out of the shadows,
Right.
and we're
Right.
gonna fuck shit up.
Yeah.
And then they said, cool, you can't do that anymore.
Right. Right.
And you can only take one of these characters
Yep.
per detachment. But we're going to make it so taking more detachments are bad, so you can't have special characters.
Right. No, it's
just
true.
Completely destroyed an army that took a lot of skill.
Yeah.
And a lot of courage, I would say, to play. And just said, screw you guys. I'm selling Space Marines.
Yeah. Well, and this is part of their problem a lot of the time. So, Sean, thank you for your patience. Zach, thank you for your rant, as always. And I think that was a good summation. So, 40K is a lot of turmoil, and there's a lot of uncertainty with it, and this happens a lot with rule changes and edition changes. And the unfortunate part is it is about selling more models and more things. But the thing I get very angry about with GW, and this is why I was praising Mantic Games before this, is that they're not really giving you dynamic new content. It's a lot of repackaging and rebranding and just changing of things. Mm-hmm. And it's not, like, these are your opportunities to redo armies. This is your opportunity to redo things. Like, if the Tyranids had a redo, this would be the moment to do that. And introduce some dynamic units that help them, plus keep some of the old ones around, but also do some model revision. There's a lot of cool things you could do, but I just don't get where they are. I think what their thought process is, probably it's them understanding their own limitation, which is that they're so expensive. They're hoping that if they just kind of moderate themselves, people will just buy the things they need, and I think they're trying to simplify the game. I always said that before. I think 9th edition is that you're playing with less stuff.
You are. One last thing I would like to say, just to show where the priorities really are for this company.
Yeah, go for it.
There was an infograph someone made. It was on Facebook. So I will preface that,
not official.
It might not be. Yeah, it's definitely not official. But someone took the time to count up all the new releases from the start of 8th edition onwards.
Mm-hmm.
So Tyranids got no models.
Mm-hmm.
And their book, fairly mediocre. Space Marines got 63 individual new releases.
Yeah.
In the span of 4 years. Death Guard, the second highest, got, I believe, 32 releases.
Yep. Because they got a lot of new stuff. Yep.
Yep. So...
That's true.
I think the highest Xeno or non-Imperium release was Gene Sealer Cult, because they were a brand new army from 7th edition that they still needed to fill out a book for.
Yep. There's that.
And you're just like, cool, fuck everybody.
Well, yeah, and that's I think one of the problems with their games. There's not that revision, of things, and there's a hesitation to do that. So, but that is our segment. So we're going to jump into some movie stuff and TV stuff. We're going to start. And Sean can participate. No. We're going to talk. I'm just kidding. And we're going to talk about some video game stuff too. But I don't have a graphic for that. We're just going to talk through it. But yeah, so I have up. So of course, I would say the only place, truthfully, that I'm seeing maybe more of the buzz or new stuff coming. I'm really going to give the hat to Disney on this one, because Disney Plus to me seems like the only thing that's pumping out any content. We're getting some notable things of, HBO Max and how they're setting up their streaming service. We're getting some notable stuff about, maybe a series here and there that's going to certain places. The rumblings of, Animaniacs got a release date on Hulu because they're rebooting. Not Hulu, on Amazon. Cobra Kai will give us season 3 at some point when maybe some of us are still alive on Netflix. Not any concrete things. It's like nobody seems to be really telling anybody anything. But Disney Plus at least seems to be doing things. So we talked previously about Mulan and how that was their first release of a film, which leads us to a little bit more film news for some of the other fates of things. Mandalorian Season 2 is coming out at some point, or soon, relatively soon. What else do we have? Of, like, soon things that they're releasing. Like, Mandalorian is, like, October. I have it right here, October 30th. So we have a little less than a month for that coming.
For Baby Yoda.
That's it. Baby Yoda is going to get its second season.
This isn't Disney specifically, but Shudder is having Joe Bob do another Halloween release.
Okay. That's cool. Shudder, for folks that don't know, is a horror streaming service. Right? Oh. Hello? Oh, did I just lose everybody?
Series and just runs it.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, I think I lost everybody. Like, for a moment.
Sean, did you hear me? Sean? Oh, he dropped!
Okay.
He's dead! He's dead!
So Sean...
He's back!
Oh, Sean's back.
From the dead.
Sean just came back. I don't know what happened either. I was like, I said something and then nobody was here.
I blame you.
So Shudder,
I just heard Zach say Shudder and then it just went quiet.
Cool.
So pick us up for there.
I'll continue. So, Shudder, the horror streaming channel, is going to do another Joe Bob Briggs special.
Oh, very cool.
Where, if it's in line with his other specials, it is going to be picking one series and then just doing a bunch of movies from that series of commentary.
Ah, very nice.
And it's going to be on the 23rd of October for Spooky Halloween Days.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I was going to say other notable things for Disney Plus. In addition to that was Disney Plus. I have it up on the screen now, but they have a new talk show, an alien-based talk show. So it's this alien by the name of Ned. And it's a talk show format where he interviews guests, different folks. So different aliens from different parts of the galaxy. It's pretty. I think it looks pretty funny. It's done by the actual Jim Henson Studios. Because for a lot of people that don't know, when Disney bought the Muppets, they actually didn't buy Jim Henson's son, who runs it, maintained control of the Jim Henson Creature Shop. So they're still doing content under their own brand. But also doing stuff in conjunction with other folks. Really terrible news on that front. Dark Crystal got canceled. That is the stupidest,
awful,
stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. I don't.
Sean, did you watch Dark Crystal?
I saw the original movie.
Cool.
You should watch, like, while you can. You should totally watch the Netflix series. It was really good.
I mean, it's still gonna be up. It's not.
Yeah, they're not taking it down.
They're not gonna take it down.
No, I know, but I wanted more. Like, to characterize it in its quickest form, it was Game of Thrones. It was a Game of
Gelflings.
But with Gelflings. It was insane. It was so cool.
And the puppet work was so good.
It was so good. Yeah, it was.
And you had Skeksis, and Mark Hamill was a Skeksy.
Yep. That was such a surprise. He's in there, and you're like, oh crap! Like, you totally.
Like, you can kind of hear it once you know it's him.
Yeah, but it was so good.
Joker voice.
No,
it's a new voice. It's a totally. But what's cool about it is, so it's a prequel to the movies. So you are meeting the characters from Dark Crystal, and you're getting to see, like, how they got to, really how the society becomes what you see in Dark Crystal.
Oh, okay.
So it is cool, but a whole, like, again, and I think you would really like it because going back to the whole world building thing, it really it really expands and fleshes out that whole world. But sad thing, we're not going to get another season.
I want to see Gelflings go to fucking war.
Right, but don't. All right, but let him watch it.
Lose because that's what happens in the main movie.
Well, right. That's what happened. That is not. I mean, you do. The story is slightly ruined because you know that like there are not many Gelflings left when you get to Dark Crystal.
There
so.
are 2, and then they have a weird Adam and Eve thing, and then a bunch of incest babies are going to happen.
Probably
in like a generation.
That's probably true. So yeah. So So I think that that's a totally terrible decision. Especially and going back to what we said at the beginning of the stream, which is in a world where we're all like clawing for content. Why take things away? Like I don't.
Because that's how Netflix operates. If they see like, oh, we got this many new subscribers because of Dark Crystal, we're not going to keep it going. You know, it's whatever generates buzz.
Yeah. No, I get it.
I will say that series had to have cost us a literal money pit.
No, absolutely. It had to be very expensive to produce because it was all.
Knows if it's even like conceivable to like actually produce anymore in a world of COVID. Like all those puppeteers. You ever see the behind the scenes pictures of puppeteers?
They're very close together.
They're on top of each other.
Yeah.
One person sneezes, they're all dead.
Yeah. Oh, God.
They're all dead. That's our conclusion. Puppeteers are all dead. There we go.
There was also a really cool behind the scenes thing from from Dark Crystal.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So yeah, but again, like I have to give Disney some credit because a lot of stuff. Well, and that actually wasn't Disney. That was Jim Henson Creature Shop. That was totally solely done through them. But so I have to give people credit. There's some content. So the biggest thing I think on the docket for Disney for us to talk about is WandaVision, which got a lot of buzz. There's an extended trailer for that series. We got an actual coming soon to Disney Plus versus their announcement on everything else, which was see you later.
2021.
It's like 2021. You'll finally get caught. So Black Widow was confirmed to be pushed to 2021.
Which moved all the MCU back also.
Everything. Right. So the second Doctor Strange movie, the Thor movie, Loki apparently hasn't started filming again yet, which is the other Disney Plus show. Winter Soldier and Falcon, I don't think anybody knows what the hell is going on with that show. But
just don't question it anymore. It's just COVID.
And of course, this is immensely sad, but Black Panther died, so they're rewriting the movie. Like they're rewriting the movie. It's not. So that movie's gonna go somewhere.
Rest in power, Chadwick.
What happened? Sean, you were saying something.
I was just gonna ask you, think they're gonna make Shuri the
protagonist? I would love them to do that.
They have explored that in the comics, right? She has a whole.
Yeah. Well, it happens exactly. I mean, not exactly what happened because I really, it's a terrible loss of that actor and that he's not here. He's a brilliant and amazing actor. I mean, not just
and the fact that he knew.
Well, yeah.
For the past 4 years, he knew he had pancreatic cancer,
and he did his own stunts.
His survival chances were so low, and he took these roles.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's unbelievably crazy. But yeah, it's just terrible to see. Obviously terrible. But yeah, they did do it in the comic books. So Black Panther does pass away in the comic books, or they have. Well, they've done Black Panther is presumed dead. They've done, a bunch of different scenarios, but they have had her be Black Panther. So they have had her take the mantle of Black Panther. I personally think that would be a really cool way to go. If they did that, and. I would hope they would do it that way. I really don't think, and I don't know. My feeling is I don't think they're going to recast it because I think that would cause a lot of contention between people. Yeah. I don't think that would go over well at all. Yeah, I don't think that would do well. It's different than like when they recasted War Machine. They went with a different actor, an Iron Man for him.
or
Like-
even Hulk.
Yeah, Terrence
Or
Howard.
Hulk, yeah.
To Don Cheadle.
Yeah, so it's like they definitely have done it before, but I just don't think that would go very well with their fans.
He's become so... Chadwick Boseman became so iconic,
Right. Well, it also
especially in that role.
and also became part of a whole movement and it's just the whole cultural thing and the power that the role had because of the social implication of it, and there's just so much like to it. So I think
Also, just saying "fuck you" to colonialists.
well, right. I think Disney's smart enough to not make that mistake. I think they're pretty conscious of it. In both ways. Like the same thing with like the Guardians movie when they were gonna like fire the director because he said something stupid. Like they realize that they can't. People aren't perfect, but I think they understand that like they can't really do that with this. So so that obviously. All these things have really like put a contention on the MCU and different things. But we got good news that WandaVision is coming out. And the trailer looks really, really crazy. So, we saw a little bit of the trailer and a little bit of the show, which is, it's been implied that
Wanda's doing Wanda things.
So Wanda, like, they're really going into Scarlet Witch's power.
Which is, fuck reality, I am God.
Pretty much. But what hasn't been determined is how she's getting there yet. But this trailer, like, you full-blown are seeing her, like, do different things, changing reality. So they're in some sort of place. But this was, of course, the trailer was really cool because you get to see more of Vision.
Mm-hmm.
Which you haven't
Vision
really...
is alive!
Well, apparently.
Kind of.
And there's just some really nice nods, and you see... So it's getting this sitcom kind of feel, or almost like she's creating this television sitcom of a married couple, but they're progressing through different eras of TV. Mm-hmm. It's got so much stuff in it, and they show their kids in the trailer, so it implies that they have their children, which are in the comic book. And just really crazy stuff. But what is really crazy about this trailer is they introduced another character, which we didn't see before. Which has a lot of people speculating on who she might be. I have my own theory, but everybody seems to think it's somebody else. I think it could be Lady Death, actually.
That could make sense.
I think so, but a lot of people think it's, and I'm blanking on the character's name now, but it's another character that torments people in different realities and stuff like
every other character in the MCU.
Well, but she's like known for doing it, and she's known for doing it in other stuff. She actually is usually portrayed as an older woman with gray hair in the comic book, but I'm blanking on the name of her now. But I think it's Lady Death. But yeah, there's just some really crazy stuff in the trailer. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to progress. And also, my other intrigued part is, will we see any other MCU characters in the show? Because it's been implied that the first season is very much what you see in the trailer, or the first part of the show is, but then it does get into some endgame stuff. So I'm intrigued that it connects back or something. I don't know. But it would be very interesting. It'd be very interesting. I mean, I'm wondering if Doctor Strange gets involved, because whenever you talk about alternate dimensions, that usually is his territory.
Right.
To get involved in that, but I don't know. And if it's gonna, obviously the big question always with MC stuff is it gonna lead into anything else? And are we gonna see inklings, or and there's a lot of other implications, and even things like to do with Sword, which we saw some beginnings of that in what was it, the Spider-Man movie, Far From Home. Mm-hmm. We saw that in fact the Skrull characters were pretending to be Nick Fury the entire time, which is why Nick Fury or Samuel L. Jackson in the Spider-Man movie seemed off off Nick Fury.
Spoiler for like a movie 2 years plus old at this point.
I don't care.
Oh god, wait, it came out last year.
No, it's,
Holy crap!
no, it's fine.
No, it just hit me. It's
Oh yeah,
oh god.
yeah.
It's still March,
It's been
right?
a year.
It's still what?
It's still March, isn't it?
I hope.
Wait, is it still?
I'm kidding.
Oh,
It's
okay.
September.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying, this dumpster fire every year, it feels like it's been...
Oh, it does. It feels like it's been like five of our Earth normal years. Yeah, that
Yeah.
it's crazy how 1 year feels like I've been alive for 10 more of them. Yeah, it's nuts. But
Well, simultaneously, no time has passed. It's just...
yeah, well, because it feels like everything was on pause. It feels like the world has been on
still
pause. Yeah, yeah. So it's like, what do you do from there? But yeah, so so it's intriguing to see these things, and we see some what may be Shield agents, what might be Sword agents, we don't know, but there's definitely other people, or the thought process that maybe somebody tries to jump into that reality gets banished out of it. There's a lot of really cool stuff that the trailer has alluded to, so I'm excited about that. What are you guys? Is there any other news or shows or things that you are excited about that has hit or has been implied?
Sean, do you have any?
I'm gonna have a crap ton of stuff I've been meaning to catch up on. I think Amazon's doing their, like, was it The Boys that, like, the first premiered a couple weeks ago, but now I think they're following Disney Plus now, where they're only gonna, like, release one episode every couple week, or like every week.
Oh,
Yeah,
so like they did
what
with the
they're doing
Mandalorian.
what they did is they released the first 3 episodes,
Right.
and then every week on a Friday they release a new episode.
I haven't watched any of them.
Oh, okay. You
But,
talk about The Boys.
The Boys, yeah.
I need to watch that.
Boys.
I need to watch
I've seen
it.
the first season, and I enjoyed it, but it was also one of those, like, it's just so intense and sometimes really disturbing. So it's like I gotta be in the right mindset for it. And like I hear, like, even this season's even more messed up, so I'm just like, eh.
Kind of, yeah. I mean, like they decided to just, in a way, kind of just like throw the comics out because they're like, we made a new world essentially.
I haven't read the comics, so I don't have that background anyway.
But yeah, there's one character where I'm like, how do people not get this? Her name is Stormfront. Sean, what do you think about when you hear the term Stormfront?
I feel like you're expecting me to go, and I don't, like, the obvious is just like the weather, Stormfront.
Is there another meaning to the word Stormfront?
Uh-oh.
I don't know, man. It's been a long week.
Yeah.
He bowed. He bowed out. He was like, "Bro, I can't. I'm out."
It's not a spoiler.
Stormfront
is also a term it's kind of, well, it's also like a Nazi term, an alt-right term, super racist term.
Oh, cool.
So,
I stay out of the fascist chat room, so...
Like, that actually was a fascist chat room.
Okay.
Stormfront, it was a fascist chat room. I'm not making this up.
No, I'm not, like, doubting you. I'm sheltered sometimes.
I'm not doubting your fascist knowledge. I'm just saying. I'm not doubting you, sir.
You have to know about the bad things in order to fight the bad things.
Sure.
But yeah, in the comics, Stormfront was a white supremacist who got cuckolded and has a black baby now. The show decided to take this character and go in a very different direction that still remains true to the awfulness of the character.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay.
Then let's see. Also Amazon. There was an 11-second teaser because they resumed filming for the Wheel of Time series.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're in Prague or around Prague, and apparently the restrictions there are a lot less because their government might have listened to the EU and be like, nah, we're gonna do normal pandemic shit.
Okay.
Anyway, getting away from that, apparently this 11-second teaser has caused the Wheel of Time fandom to explode in theories, and I shit you not, one YouTuber did a 20-minute video on an 11-second trailer.
Well, for a book series with a 200-page chapter, that doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah.
It was over 200 pages, damn it.
That's true. But yes, that is exciting. Wheel of Time. That's a good one. I forgot that.
Yeah, there's also a lot of controversy because people are arguing about ethnicity in the casting of certain characters.
Okay.
And the general consensus is, shut up, they're good actors and actresses.
Right.
It doesn't matter if they don't match explicitly. And also, why are you bringing up these arguments when we have other characters who other actors who are also white who are matching up explicitly, and then there are no complaints from you.
Right.
Yay!
Yeah, it's true. I mean, and again, just going back to the whole thing I said at the beginning, like why would things like this be important? You know, we're trying to get back to. I just don't get it. Like, I get when the choices are made in a negative way, but if that's who they were able to find and they felt they embodied the character better, why is there anything on the rule book that says any ethnicity or background of anyone can't be played by anyone else? If you do the job and the role well, that's fine. I mean, now, granted, if the character is like based in a cultural, if the character is based in a cultural way and it's core to the character, I can understand why you'd want to cast a character a certain way. But if there's no real cultural like anchor for that character where it's gonna make the character not read well, then why can't alternative backgrounds of people play whatever? Like, it doesn't make any difference. Like we were saying before. Like we were saying before. Like, that's why. Like, you can't. Not. It sounds really bad, but I would not envision, nor I think would Marvel envision, anyone non-African American playing Black Panther.
Right, but like you were saying, that's such an integral part of his character.
Right.
The whole cultural background, like, obviously.
It's like
also the character was created like as
an African king.
A black pride,
right?
Anti-colonialist character, like
Correct.
in the comics. Also, that was the background behind it.
Right.
So you're like, cool, can't have a white dude. I mean, they kind of fucked up with Iron Fist when they could have retconned a whole bunch of stuff with that. Instead of being magical white boy goes into Asian city and learns super kung fu better than Asians.
Well, right, that was a bad decision, but
and also that series just sucked so much.
Well, no, I mean, that is true to the comic book, that white kid.
Yeah, but they couldn't see that was problematic.
Oh,
and they gave it 2 seasons?
No, the series was bad because, not to go to a rant on that, but the series was bad because they made a corporate espionage show with Iron Fist. And that was the problem. It was really about corporate espionage, and that's not what Iron Fist is about. Iron Fist is about kung fu. It's about fighting. It's not about.
Everybody was kung fu fighting, copy strike. Yeah.
And Iron Fist in the comic books is a character who actually he's douchebag. Like,
yeah, no, it takes Luke Cage to like calm him down from being a raging asshole.
He really, but they both are, because they're heroes for hire. They have this whole idea that like they're gonna charge people to be heroes. Like, that's a real part of their core character too.
Dude, rent is high in New York City.
So
they can't be doing that shit for free.
Like, they're not really they're not completely great heroes. They're not good people all the time. they do partner with Spider-Man. I mean, immediately if you partner with Spider-Man, you're like, everybody thinks you're like a great guy, because in Spider-Man books they have to be better because they're with Spider-Man. But everybody doesn't realize, like, when Deadpool teams up with Spider-Man, that's not normal Deadpool.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was that Heroes for Hire where Doctor Doom hired them for something and then didn't pay them.
Correct.
So they broke into.
That's a good example. Latveria.
Yeah, they broke into Latveria.
Latveria, yeah.
Yeah, and they were like, "You didn't pay us, so we're gonna beat the shit out of you." And he goes, "Wait, can I just pay you now?" And they stopped. And like, "Yeah, okay."
Correct. They're not
cool. You got your rent money.
They're not good characters. Like and I think I think Luke Cage embodied that very well. Because he wasn't.
You mean the whole "I become villain, I become Black Kingpin"?
Well, yeah, but that's fine because that is kind of Luke Cage. Like, meaning they don't have that like completely heroic compass. They have a different, and those are the things that they should have went into in the series. Like, it would have been more interesting.
I just wanted Marshala Ali to be in the series the whole time.
Well, that too, yeah, but
because amazing actor, amazing character.
Correct.
Sean, you're kind of quiet.
Yeah, because I think I only saw like the first 2 seasons of Daredevil and the first season of Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones was really good. The first season, again.
Oh God, when they started doing
David Tennant
Hellcat bullshit, like, I want powers.
Again, I only saw the first season. I'm not sure what you're talking about.
That becomes season 2.
That's why I see how I was trying to keep it topical. Season 1. Good that was. Keep Sean in conversation.
It was a literal shit. However,
instead of going,
it did have filming locations near where we live.
That is true.
A lot of places.
Yeah, I was gonna say the TV show Sleepy Hollow had had that, but that show didn't do well either.
It was okay. I know Sean liked it.
Yeah,
for the first season.
Sean only was.
First season only.
Hold on.
In that sophomore slump.
Hold on. I want to ask this question. What? Give me 3 shows that you've watched the entire show for, the entire season, every season.
So far, anyway. Stranger Things.
Okay.
Shit. Like, there are things I've been meaning to get to.
No. Yeah, you've watched it. No. Getting to it, having a stack of shit you read, but you didn't read it yet. That's don't work. So Stranger Things. That's it. It's okay.
There's been like a couple like anime series.
All right, well, what are they? What are they? What? Throw them out there. They're okay. Animation series are okay. I'm just curious.
I'm gonna hang back and just occasionally moderate.
I'm curious. I'm curious, and I'm not doing this to like. I'm not trying to put you on the spot in the bad way. I'm just curious because I think it's funny, and I think it's cool because I think it means you have like a very good palette of taste of shows. I think the reason you don't get past first season is that maybe you're not into the show and you don't get back to it. So, Stranger Things. What anime series? I'm actually curious about the anime series.
The one that pops into my head anyway. Wow, I can talk tonight. It's, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Okay.
I actually prefer the original one too, but that one, the ending was stupid.
Okay.
Like Avatar, Airbender.
Okay.
I haven't seen Korra though.
Okay.
You don't need to.
Again, probably get to it eventually. It's not high.
You're gonna be mad at it.
You're gonna be mad. Okay.
Probably, yeah. You do know me.
Yeah, I know. You're gonna get mad, and then you're not gonna watch it past season 1, which is the only okay season. Fight me, Twitch, if you think that's wrong.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That you are making some enemies with that one because that Legend of Korra is like some people's bread and butter.
Legend of Avatar: Last Airbender. I will lay my life down for that show.
It's phenomenal.
It is
show.
chef kissing worthy show. Legend of Korra, flaming bag of dog shit.
Okay.
Especially past the first season.
Okay. Interesting.
The only good episodes of that show after the first season are when they're done by the original animation team, and you can realize how much money they saved by going with the lesser animators.
Oh yeah, well that's to be fair, that is a lot of anime. Like, you could say that was a constant gripe of mine with Dragon Ball Super. You could see Super episodes where it's like, oh, the original people
also,
did this.
Those 2 episodes, the story was much better than the rest of the series.
Well, sure.
But also, the art was so much better.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, Sean, that will get you mad. Don't watch it.
Alright. But, I mean, just kind of going along that whole thread, like, there are shows that, like, I do watch and I do follow up, but, like, whenever, I don't know, I just get tired of them.
No, that's fair.
You know, like, I'm someone, like, I love stories, but I also feel that most stories are only as strong as their endings.
Gotcha.
And with TV shows, serialized, series, they just, too often, they're driven by, the major corporations, the studios that are like, we just want to, people love the show, let's just keep pumping out episodes, story be damned, and
Right.
they start repeating things. Like Supernatural is a great example of that.
Yes.
First 5 seasons, phenomenal. After that, it's like, okay, whatever. It's kind of like fucking about. But then got to like season 9, and I was just like, it's the same shit over and over and over again.
I agree with that.
The 2 brothers, like, oh, we're gonna like, we love.
They don't
each
even
other.
like each other.
They claim they love each other, and then they get pissed off at each other, and they fight each other. But then at the end, after like kind of killing each other, maybe outright killing each other, or almost killing each other,
and then someone plays Kansas.
Our brotherhood is really important. And then
someone plays Wayward Son, and everything's right.
Yes. And then
that's
they're all
literally
again.
Of every season.
Yeah.
But the reason why I say specifically the first 5 seasons, that was how long the original showrunner was on for.
Yeah.
He's like, he wrote out these 5 seasons, and you can tell season 5 finale, that was how it's gonna end.
Correct. It feels like an ending.
Sam was dead in hell, and Dean was kind of settling down with this girl from this past, and then all of a sudden, like, oh wait, nope, Sam's back.
Well, right.
Yep, they did the whole Demon Sam because the CW ordered like
Sam just had no soul. There was a difference.
Right.
Oh yeah, you're right, because there are Demon Sam episodes. God damn it.
It's just, and then God has a sister. It's like, what the fuck's going on?
No, it's you're absolutely right. It feels like everything is tacked on.
It was the same thing with Walking Dead. Like I watched Walking Dead for most of the seasons until they really started getting to like the Kingdom, and then it took them like a full season just to go through a single day's events, and they're trying to like they're following 10, 15 different characters, and like it's too much.
Yeah. Well, that Walking Dead is a different example because they changed what was going on. They didn't follow the comic book, and they changed what was going on, and yeah, they didn't conclude things. But I agree with you. Supernatural feels very like extremely tacked on, and just like we had to go. And I agree with you again that there was, yeah. Well, and I think that's true of a lot of shows. You're right. A lot of shows go past the time that they need to.
Because if I'm being completely honest, I know Stranger Things was the first thing I named is what I've seen all seasons for, but like I still feel the first season was the best. Second one I was like, okay. Third one, I'm getting tired of it already.
Wow.
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay.
There's just things that I just feel like they're just like kind of shoving it in, and like they're trying to recreate the whole like mystery of the first season, but they're not really earning it.
Okay.
Like, in the second season with the whole like he was drawing out the waterways or whatever that was, and like his mom and what's his name, I can't remember the name. The friend, like they're just like
the sheriff. Yeah, the sheriff.
Not the sheriff.
But
they're
are you talking about Bob?
Them... No, when
Samwise.
Samwise. Oh,
that's Bob. That's Bob.
Yeah, but like when like they're putting them, but like
that works for Radio Shack.
All over the ceilings and the walls and the floor, and then like Bob just walks in. He's like, "Oh, this is this lake," and it's like, "No bullshit, you don't know that."
Well, Bob was kind of a weird guy. But yeah.
Right, but like, there's no three-dimensional map that you know all the waterway. Like, it would be one thing if it was just laid out on the floor, but it felt like they were just trying to recapture the magic from the
Oh,
first one of
okay.
like the lights and and then the whole third season. When you actually think about like, why were the Russians broadcasting where they are from the mall for no reason for
Well,
Dustin to pick it up on the radio?
the
Like, it's just things
yeah
that just like, it just
the
they
theory.
want it to seem cool, and it feels forced to me, and I'm
Gotcha.
starting to lose interest.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't know if
Yeah.
I could agree with the Stranger Things thing. The Stranger Things in the same way I could have seen the Supernatural. I personally, Stranger Things has kept my interest, and I think it's gone in a good direction. But you know, I maybe I won't agree with you on season 4. I don't know, because maybe season
I mean,
4
I'll still
will
watch
be.
season 4.
Maybe it might be
You know,
too
it
much.
still
Too
has
much because
yeah,
it is going to be interesting to see how that all gets further.
right. Like once they really start getting outside of Hawkins, like I feel like it's gonna be too much again.
Yeah. Well, I
You're gonna
just
get that weird thing where you have a weird Akira gang in, was it Detroit
well, I don't.
or Chicago?
I hope they don't bring those people back. I hated those characters. You're talking about the other. You're talking about the other people that had powers. The other.
Yeah,
That
like,
ele-
weird
that 11
that's
means.
probably their best route, like, or at least I feel more interesting route to go towards. I mean, I'm
Like,
also someone like I
how
absolutely
can I-
hate like the tween romance shit, so that's just my own personal taste. So that's probably another reason why season 3 just didn't sit well with me.
Well, Sean,
What was
I
that?
agree with
Oh,
you.
I see. I read it differently. I guess because I'm a dad. So like
Anyway.
I read that stuff as like funny, because it's like
Yeah, okay.
so
But,
went a different
Sean,
route.
I agree with you that it was really interesting, the little Akira gang. I keep calling them that because they're teenagers with powers running around riding motorcycles and
Sure,
Well,
sure.
first of all, only one of them had powers, and I'm not talking about like that specific group so much as just the whole idea that there are at least like 9 other kids with potentially
Right.
superpowers running around.
That's
Like, what the fuck
that's
is going
cool
on
to
with
me.
That?
That would be cool if they start finding them.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying like specifically bring back
Yeah.
that weird street gang.
Right.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it was cool. They did not enough with it.
Oh, sure.
They didn't execute the.
No, yeah, it was.
That's
felt
why
weird.
I said it was one of the weaker episodes.
No, I will agree with you in that sense, at least from the fact that like, they frame the entire rest of the season following different characters, and all of a sudden you have one episode focusing just on 11. Like, yeah, that's jarring and it's weird and it feels out of place. I'll agree with you there. Like, it was definitely the weaker out of that season. But.
Well, also the fact that to me with that particular, that felt shoehorned, and then to your point, why? See, I think there's both a good thing and a bad thing when you introduce characters like those characters, because you introduce the idea, but then we never capitalized on it in the next season.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Part of me is like, yeah, it's a cool idea, but then you didn't capitalize really on it at all.
It's a little bit like what we were talking about with J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
You had a cool idea, you didn't explore it enough, and you
Right.
kind of just hand waved it away.
Yeah, so it's like, but now with Stranger Things, going back to what we just said, is that going to be maybe a caveat for this season, because now they have to maybe assault or set up an assault, because I don't know, I foresee them having to do something pretty drastic to get to Russia.
Yeah.
to save people, or I don't know. But, knowing them, I mean, there is a little bit of a formula with Stranger Things too. I mean, maybe 11 will reach out to, like, find him, see him in her mind palace, and then, in fact, actually, I think I might have written what's going to happen, and I want to shut up, but because I think I just figured it out, but probably she's going to I'm going to make a prediction for Stranger Things season 4. She's gonna reach out with her mind palace, and then she's gonna help him navigate the Upside Down to get back to Hawkins. That's what I think is gonna happen.
Cool. Was it just me that you turned to a complete robot?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't care. It's fine. I'll just nod along at this point.
What's that?
Yes.
I guess Zach's audio went weird for a bit.
Yep.
Oh, did my audio go weird or yours did?
No, apparently it's just me.
Okay.
You sounded fine to me, so I don't know what.
Okay. Yeah. What I was saying was my prediction is that's what's gonna happen. She's gonna reach out. She's gonna be like, I see you by my palace. I see you in the weird water place. It's black. I see you're in a cell. And then she's gonna help him find a portal to get back to Hawkins.
Oh no, you're probably like 100% correct.
I hate to say that that's my prediction, but I think this is gonna happen. I think everybody's gonna come back to Hawkins. It's gonna be a reunion. And things are gonna be weird.
Yep.
Because Eleven's gonna have a boyfriend, and that's gonna be it.
Like I haven't completely given up on the show yet, but I feel myself getting there.
And I think Winona Ryder's gonna die.
That might just push. Oh no, maybe. Yeah, that might push.
I like Winona Ryder's character.
I do.
But I think she's gonna die.
I don't know, cause it feels like they always have an instance where they could kill off a really big major character, but then they don't, and they just kill off
Instead,
a more minor.
They kill
character.
Bob.
I was gonna say they killed Bob. Well,
brother.
Yeah.
They kill Russian doctor.
Yeah, that was sad. There was no need to kill him.
Yeah.
The man was.
Never mind the fact that they killed half of Hawkins apparently.
And
that was a lot of body mass in that thing.
And who else? I mean, now I love how it's becoming now us talking about Stranger Things, but it's. And who else didn't like that the Princess Bride was the mayor? I mean, that was great. But yeah,
it took me forever to recognize him.
Yeah, and nobody recognizes him until when he's hitting him. When he was hitting him in the office, I'm like, oh my god, that's totally him. It was when he was getting abused that it was more recognizable that it was him. Which I thought was pretty funny, but yeah. So all right. Well, anyway. Well, I mean, Stranger Things is related because obviously Stranger Things season 4. They actually did say a release date.
Did it?
I feel like we're getting it this year.
God!
Am I going crazy?
Oh, you might be. Well, we're all going crazy.
I'm pretty sure we get it this year. I'm pretty sure that's on the docket of. I don't want to say they're doing it during Halloween because that's just crazy. Because obviously they did the other one. Well, the other one they did July 4th. Or in July. Because of the time frame that it happened. But I know that you could have been in. I know they had ads for people to be extras in it.
Mm-hmm.
Through Backstage. If you wanted to be an extra. You could go down there because they're filming it. I forgot where they film it because it's actually filmed in a town that's pretty secluded, and they've taken over half of it.
So I just quick Google search. It looks like they're only resuming, or even just starting. Resuming shoots for season 4 next week.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's what I saw in the news.
Yeah.
So they probably are not getting. We will not get it this year. It'll probably be next year.
Most likely.
That's
gotta be weird because all those actors are in that whole growth spurt age.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
So if there was a 4-month gap between filming, are they all of a sudden just gonna be 2 feet taller?
Yep.
Well, you're probably gonna have the Harry Potter movies.
Also,
right, but within the same season, that's just gonna be funny.
Yeah. Also, can they finally do something with Lucas? I believe is his name.
Talking about the African American child.
Yeah.
Ow.
They just haven't done anything with him.
Well, he got a girlfriend in the last season.
You can't see my face just go really?
Well, that's what they do. Well, what do you?
Yeah.
That's his character development. He
What do
got
you?
a
What do you
girlfriend.
want him to get? A mind flare up his ass? I mean, like what? Like
Like
what?
something cool happened to him. Like he
Because
was there. Like the only thing he had in this entire season was, I don't know, girlfriend? Question mark.
Yeah, pretty much.
he had a
Like-
girlfriend. He had to help his best friend deal with his love problems with a
But he had no.
with a psychic powered girl that could throw him across the room if she was pissed off.
Yeah, that's no way that relationship's not going to turn abusive on him.
Nah, it's great. It's gonna be amazing. She's gonna kill that boy before they're even 20. It's gonna be good. Speaking of her, by the way, I actually watched the Netflix Eleanor
The new. Oh god.
Holmes. It was actually good.
Oh good.
I actually liked it. It was fun. Henry Cavill sucks as Sherlock Holmes, but other than that, like he was like the worst Sherlock Holmes I've ever seen in my life. I just sat there and went like,
I don't know.
Do you
have
know
seen
there's
Will Ferrell?
actually an interesting legal case against that show
but that's not
from the state of Arthur Conan Doyle.
really.
Yeah.
But okay, but it's not a show; it's a movie.
Oh, it's a movie? I thought it was a TV show.
Is it meant to be a TV show? Because they only released the
I have no
movie.
idea.
Oh, my mistake. I guess it's only a movie.
I mean, I won't spoil it, but there is definitely room for there to be more of them. But
Yeah, it is.
and it's based on a series of books too.
So Sherlock Holmes is now public domain.
Okay,
Okay.
That's the
which is good
concept
because
of Sherlock Holmes having multiple siblings, also public domain. However,
that's the key.
the concept of Sherlock Holmes having identifiable emotions, apparently, is still under subject to copyright law.
Are you kidding me?
No!
How do you put that in copyright law? Being happy or sad? Which, by the way, for the record, if you could tell by Henry Cavill's performance that he's happy and or sad, God bless you, because I couldn't. But he's like, no.
Yeah. No, it's a real thing.
That's crazy. I didn't think you. That's nuts. Well, that's good that it's public domain because it's definitely part of one of my comic strips. So I'm very happy that I won't get sued by fucking Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, because
That's good.
let's see.
I just bought a book on all of this trademarking and everything. I'm glad that I'm learning more now.
Yeah, it became public domain in 2014 for most of the Sherlock Holmes stories. However, only in later stories that they have the rights to, that the Doyle estate says that Holmes now has recognizable human emotions. Said feelings, like, say, being worried about his non-canonical sister Enola, are thus a new element Doyle only introduced in those later stories, which make them trademark elements still controlled by the family.
Wow.
That is ridiculous.
How do you define recognizable human emotions? Because I feel like every iteration of Sherlock Holmes
Has had emotions.
Yeah. They might be like depressed sociopath who has a drug habit, but like it's an emotion.
Not talking about the Stephen Moffat series at all. But yeah, I don't.
Even the Robert Downey Jr. version, he's like a
Oh yeah,
weird
absolutely.
guy.
I don't get that. How do you do that? So okay, cool. So robot Sherlock Holmes, I can do that. Everybody's a robot. No one has emotion. They just solve mysteries with logic and reason. Robo Holmes. No one survives. Can I make that movie? It's got no emotions. He's... Zach, are you dead?
Yes.
And I am back.
I am back to service your needs. Like Zack the robot. Oh my god. All right.
I am Sherlock Holmes now. I have no emotions. Otherwise, the family can sue.
We're not going to talk about Marvel Comics. We'll just go to DC, which is another right mess from hell. So the last thing we're going to talk about today is DC. And some of the not so great things coming out of that pile of steaming crap. So DC had... So if you thought Marvel's news was bad, DC's news was even worse. Because DC basically proclaimed that all of their TV shows are being canceled. Because they're going to put all of them under HBO Max, right?
Okay.
What the fuck is that? Max Plus? What is it? It's HBO Max.
Yeah.
So they're going to put all of their shows there. They also proclaim that their TV shows and movies are better than, the comic books that they produce.
All right then.
So, if you were curious why, potentially when you go to see some DC titles at your local comic book shop and there are no DC books anymore, it's kind of on purpose. They are decreasing the number of titles they have, and they've implied that Batman comic books are the only comic books that really sell for DC.
Jeez.
Or they've sort of inferred this. So, that's kind of crazy. So, yeah, I'm pretty worried because I'm a decent DC fan, and not that I don't like Batman, but I definitely like other comic books other than Batman. I do like Batman, but I like
not 5 Batman titles.
I do like other stories in the DC universe, which, like for instance, Justice League Dark, which I am a big fan of. And other teams. I'm a big Green Lantern fan also. I very much enjoy the Lantern Corps and their many characters. So, and Shazam. Dizzle, how are you? Fuck Batman. It's because you don't like Batman. Don't say fuck Batman on my show. You bastard. I know you like Superman. I like Superman too. So yeah, Dizzle, everybody. You guys know Dizzle.
Hello, not Jeff.
That's right. It is not Jeff. I'm surprised he hasn't critiqued Batman equals dumpster fire. Okay.
Anyway, can we just all agree that DC is now effectively just a hand puppet with Disney? No, it's not Disney.
Warner Brothers.
Yeah, Warner Brothers, that's it. I got confused for a second because there's only like 3 companies left.
That's right. They've won.
Yeah, that Warner Brothers has just hollowed out and stuck its hand up its ass and is just mouthing words now that mean nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
If it was Disney that had DC, because then Disney also owns Marvel, so it's Disney fighting Disney.
Well, I think that would be. I'm sure it's anti-monopoly laws would start to get played around with if that happened.
I hope so, but I don't have that kind of faith in
well,
US government anymore.
Well, technically there are other comic book companies, so they could own both companies. That actually is legal, which sounds crazy, but because technically there is Dark Horse, Image, there are a bunch of other companies out there, so that's it. Again, it would move it. I mean, comic book industry is very much like the soft drink industry in the Coke and Pepsi and all these other people.
I like Dr. Pibb.
That's fine.
Isn't it Mr. Pibb?
It is Mr. I think it is Mr. Pibb.
Fuck.
Dr. Pepper, Mr. Pibb.
I also wanted on the record that Dizzle corrected me that it's hot trash because he made the emoji of a trash can on fire, which is hot trash.
That's a man who knows his trash.
That's true. So yeah, it's. But it's just crazy. Like, so think about in my lifetime that DC Comics. So this all stems from, a lot of people don't know this, but AT&T bought Warner Brothers, aka bought DC. So they are making these choices now. This is part of why they fired quite a bit of people at DC. They fired the head editors, right? They've started to lay off people within the comic book division. They had this whole plan, and I don't know if it's still true, but maybe they're inferring that they're going to be cutting some of their losses of this new. They called it 5G, and again, I understand that AT&T 5G. You think that's something completely different. It's this initiative where they were going to change a bunch of stuff, so it's very similar to We Lived Through This Once, the New 52, which was hot trash. To borrow Dizzle's term. But We Lived Through This was where they basically did the same thing. They changed all the characters, all the titles. Their aim, they say, is to make a more diverse universe. So this is where we're going to get even Batman. They're even going to screw around with Batman and make other Batman books. They're going to make other Batman things, and they're going to
have 5 different flavors of Batman.
Yeah. So
it goes with the 5 Gs.
Right. So they're going to try this new initiative to get everybody involved into and try to get this new readership. And basically, if it completely fails, which it probably will, that is when they will banish all comic books. I don't know if their plan is to even do digital, but they are going to very much revamp DC. And the claim is that their movies do better than their books, which that is not true. That is 150,000% not true. They do not do better. There have been some definitely movies that have done well, but their track record is not that all of their movies are gold. Yeah.
Like, it's utter and complete shit.
Yeah. So that's
Are you talking like the live action movies or the animated movies?
I would say if you're talking live action, you have to be talking completely out of your ass.
Yeah.
Now animated, okay,
are not shit.
And if you and if you're gonna tell me that animated films do better than comic books,
that's a hard sell.
that
Eh?
I don't know. I don't know if that's completely true. I mean, I do think that it probably isn't. That I think a video medium for the generation and generations that are out there, I think it's preferred. I think it's preferred to do video, like something that's video or animated over a stagnant book. Yes, I think that unfortunately that is probably true. But I don't know if you could say confidently that that's the truth of it performs better than a comic book.
Right.
No, like maybe animated movies, but not love action. Ooh, you got some love action, Big Diz? Yeah, I agree. I think animated, because I know for myself, like I just watched the new Constantine, which, by the way, the new Constantine movie, holy crapola.
You mean Constantine?
Or Constantine, thank you. That newer film is nuts. It's like way adult, way like,
oh yeah.
It's like demons viscerating people and shit. It's kind of crazy. And I haven't watched Superman, Man of Tomorrow, some of the other things, but the animated stuff keeps it going. So yeah, I couldn't imagine. But that's the big news. And then, of course, last but not least, we should talk about video game stuff really quick, which basically is fuck everyone. Fuck Xbox, fuck PS4, fuck everybody who did a pre-order of anything this week, because it was a bunch of bullshit. It's the craziest launch of any system I've ever been near.
Can you even call it a launch?
I don't know what the fuck you call it, because
Flop?
You can't go at a store, or you couldn't pre-order it at a store. All these companies made announcements, didn't tell anybody where the fuck anything was.
They didn't even make announcements. They're just like, oh, it's released.
Yeah, retailers totally like jumped the gun on when to launch this stuff. So you woke up and it was all gone. It was ridiculous. So I have to apologize to my viewers here because I know we've been having a lot of fun with some of the reviews and game stuff. I don't know if I'm going to get a PS5 at launch. I think that ship has kind of sailed. I'm going to try some other ways to do it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get a PS5 at launch. I wasn't planning on getting an Xbox.
Yeah.
Most of us got our PS5. Fuck, you got a PS5? I fucking hate you. Oh my god. Of course Big Diz did.
But you're not even guaranteed to get it. Like Amazon's saying, like, yeah, half the people who pre-ordered aren't even gonna get it. You know, it's.
Nah, I'm happy you got a PS5, bro. But I know you. You don't sleep. He just wrote it. He wrote that exactly as I said it. He wrote it. Oh, that was funny. He literally wrote it. He wrote, I don't sleep. I know you don't sleep. Oh my god, that was funny.
Also, what is it? Microsoft bought out BioWare?
Bethesda.
Yeah, they bought.
Well, they bought Bethesda's parent company, which I'm not particularly happy about.
No, because it's like, cool. All the cool games
that's
that
messed
Bethesda
up.
makes only gonna be on Xbox.
Oh fuck! That means I gotta buy an Xbox.
Well, like,
damn it.
I like PC too because it's Microsoft. But...
Well, that's what I'm banking on. To be quite honest, the reason why I didn't jump on an Xbox was for that reason. I have a gaming PC, so I should be able to just do everything through that app and just go digital for them.
Yeah.
And that should be it. But really?
Well, I think technically it doesn't, like, the papers don't go through officially till like next year, but it's pretty much a done deal.
Yeah.
They've said, I mean, I know because they bought out, it's like Zenith Games or whatever, like the parent company that owns Bethesda and like all of Bethesda's studios, like Arcane, Bethesda Softworks, everything. And they said, like, I think a couple of those studios already had PS5 exclusives in development, and Microsoft is claiming to honor those, but kind of left it up in the air for everything else. So, like Elder Scrolls 6, any future Fallout games.
Well, actually, Big Diz was saying in the chat that Xbox has no exclusives, so they're not doing anything exclusive to their system.
And we call bullshit.
That's gonna change as soon as they we're gonna do another Halo.
Yeah, well,
or Gears of War or something.
Probably those will stay exclusive, absolutely. But and then to add insult to injury, one of our friends got 2 of them, and he sold both of them. Apparently, pre-orders for the PS5. That's fucked up. Damn it! Damn you! Damn you to hell! Yeah, and then Diz agreed with me. He was like, you can get them on PC. And that's what I'm banking on, is that we both have gaming PCs, so I'll be able to get my titles on that. Maybe I have to tweak my gaming PC a little bit. Nothing's exclusive to Xbox, the console. Okay. I believe...
I'm calling bullshit.
I believe you. Because to be honest, they didn't really have any exclusive for the last system either. And that was part of the reason why when they did their I even said that, when they did their last media event, I'm like, you guys showed a system off, but you didn't show any exclusive games. So why would I buy your system?
Well, was that the whole Xbox One was like, it's supposed to be like an all-in-one media system, some bullshit?
Well, right. They tried to sell this other piece of it, but I don't want that in my system. I don't care. So it's like, just like kind of bad marketing. But needless to say, so PS5, that ship kind of sailed. Like Halo and Gears are all on PC. Oh, that's a good point. All right, so I see why he's saying there are no exclusives.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
Because I
guess if you're a console gamer though,
right,
they're basically exclusive.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Because like for me personally, like I don't know PCs. I don't do builds, and I'm not made out of money, so I don't have a gaming PC. So for me, if I'm going for a PS5, then I'm shit out of luck if Microsoft decides, nope, no more Elder Scrolls for you, or something like that.
Well, and to be fair, if you did get like a gaming PC or something like that, you can use your Xbox controller to play on it. So I mean, like I get the argument either way though, because like I'm a more of a converted guy now, and I have to actually thank Big Diz for that, because he was the guy that helped me to get my gaming PC and helped me a lot with the advice on it. But I'm so happy I went this route because it's so much cheaper. Because for me and for like Diz, we could just throw like a couple of $100 into the gaming PC and we have the same equivalent to what's going to be coming out, or really a lot better too. So it's the same. However you slice the coin, it's all the same stuff. You spend a couple of $100 and you have a better system. So, but yeah, so we'll see how the fate of the channel goes. I'm hoping there might be second wave. I'm hoping maybe I do have a Fool's Errand attempt, which Big Diz, if you're not doing anything on November 12th and you want to be my bodyguard, I'm planning on going to some retailers to see if there are PS5s. So if you want to make sure I don't get stabbed, shivved, or killed, you're more than welcome to join me. But yeah, that's my plan. If I haven't secured a pre-order by then, which I don't think I will. But we shall see. PS5, PS or Sony went on and said that they were very unhappy and very apologetic about the whole, lack of a launch or debacle of a launch, or however you want to say it. So we'll see what happens in the future. But that's all we really have for tonight. We went pretty over our time, but we started pretty late. So I thank everybody, and I hope everybody enjoyed the show. If you consider what you heard to be awesome, cool, or interesting, please think about following us if you're hearing this after the fact or now. Please consider giving a follow to the channel. Thank you, as always, to Zach and Sean for being here and putting up with these late hours and long shows.
You let me scream into a microphone for the world to hear. So I'm pretty good.
Take care, Diz. See you later, my friend. We'll definitely be back next week. We will do True Crimes in Toontown. If you don't remember where our faithful adventurers left off, they are currently being essentially looked at by a bunch of police officers holding guns, coming out of the YMCA, and they realize that it is 1980.
And you know what? I got my deformed abomination of a child with me.
That's true. You do have your deformed abomination of a child. If you would like to hear more about this adventure or find out what that actually meant, that's what we're going to be doing next week. Again, we do our RPG nights on Thursday. We're trying to do these game shows. We're trying to do these talk shows once. What would a game show be like that we do? A talk show once a month. I don't know if we're going to... I'm trying to mix in. Maybe we do gaming 2 weeks out of the month. We do a live in-person show once a month. And then we do one of these. I don't know. But we will try to have live gaming in person again. So far, everybody's doing pretty well. None of us are sick, except me, who has a cold. So we're all...
Hand air, man.
That's right. Because of Shad's masterful hand air bending, he's infected me with the cold virus. But yeah, so again, thank you guys. As always, please think about supporting and following the channel. Share, like the videos, give comments, let us know what you think. There are links below as well. Check those out. Those links are other ways to support the channel monetarily. I know that's a little bit tough right now for a lot of folks. But if you can, it's a great way for me to have the money to get the equipment, the games, the materials, the things that we need to continue to review and have fun. So if you can check those out, please do. And anything you guys want to say on the way out?
Bye, Jeff.
Bye, Jeff. Sean?
Have a good one.
Have a good one. All right. Well, thank you guys again for watching, and we'll see you next week.